Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast, where we are still getting used to using OBS, but it is going to be a fire show tonight. I've really got a special panel, and it's been a long time. A lot of people say, Mooch, I'll be honest with you, don't always bring 1,000 people on, but today's one of those days we have to have 1,000 people on. And as you hear Xbot again, 1,000 people, right? That's when you line up the entire, it used to be the old school way. We used to line up every single person on the bottom of the screen, and now they're just showing up once in a blue moon on this left-hand side. Thanks to Jay the Matrix Gamer at JMatrix76. Jay, thanks for all the help on this. Let me go through really quick this unbelievable panel because I want to get into the topics, and we're already a few minutes late. Let me start with the one, the only, calling again right from his recliner. It's Crap Gamer. Crap, how you doing?
I'm smoking a cigar, just having a good time. Doing all the things that
you do before a hurricane.
Xbox doesn't allow. Yeah, exactly. You just
joining incoming hurricane.
Yes, you put a big
the
bullseye.
higher power knew what he was about to say, and that's why.
Oh yeah.
You guys are gonna get that weather you're getting.
Hey, sipping some cognac. Just having a good time, man.
That's what it's all about, Crap. That's what it's all about. And then I've got my brother over here, Xbot448. Xbot, how the hell are you doing tonight?
What's going on? Hey, it's been a while. I missed Xbox Nation. For people out
You
there,
bastard.
For people out there on Twitter, yes, I was moving, guys. I put a joke out there, and people really thought I was serious, man. Crap, why'd you kick me out for a week, man?
I think Delirium Blades blocked me because of that. I'm not sure.
Yo, but it's all in good fun. And the only thing I have to ask here is, Luca, do you think that Crap knows what cognac actually tastes like? I don't
Yes,
know.
he does. Of course.
Listen, man, I don't even know what cognac tastes like, so.
Oh,
Let me find out. Well, with that being said, let me just go ahead and introduce the Ashton Luca, my New York. Luca from Scumcast. Luca, how you doing tonight? And thank you for being here.
Hi, what's up, guys? It's been a while, I think. I think the last time I was here was to argue with people, too.
That'll happen again.
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm here for Gears and Gears only, and then I'm leaving. I already told Mooch this.
You did.
So, yeah. But what's up, guys?
Well, good to have you here, Luca. I totally appreciate it. And then I've got Enrique from Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Enrique, welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing tonight?
Hey, second week in a row. I'm excited to be back, and all I have to say is #concerned.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm glad there's somebody concerned because it seems like everything's just been roses and sunshine since 8 a.m. this morning.
I think this Crossfire is only going to be 6 hours long. I'm just
No, I can't. I'm not allowed to go past the 2-hour threshold anymore. And then I've got a special guest with us here. First time on Crossfire.
You can go over 2 hours, but you're going to hear a bunch of groaning and moaning and shit.
Oh, come on, Crap. You don't even have to drive. Listen.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Boy, I tell you, Crap is like...
relax right here.
There's the king of one-liners out there somewhere. Crap's the king of interruptions during interviews and introductions. Crap, that's great. No, and then
I'm a real asshole. I'm sorry.
It happens. Listen, I've got my buddy here, J-Dub City. Jay, first time on Crossfire. We've definitely podcasted a number of times now on Xbox Nation. Great to have you, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Great to be here.
Good. It's gonna be
Savior of Gears.
We're gonna be calling on you real soon, Jay, because yes, you and Crap have a lot of credit to take tonight. The awards will be going to you guys, I'm anxious to hear your acceptance speech. Honestly,
I will accept that award, no doubt, man. No.
I want to accept that award. I'm not done yet. Then I've got my buddy here from New York. He's calling in this week because he can't next week. That's Noximus Knox. Welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Yo, man, always a pleasure to be here, Mooch, chilling, my brother. Can't wait to get into this. This panel is just shit right here, boy. So let's get it.
All right, let's get into this real quick. Before I turn the mic over to Crap and Jay, because they're going to definitely at least have the next 25 minutes. Listen, here's something that got me, right? And it was one of my first tweets this morning, and it really kind of blew up. A lot of people go, Mooch, I'm glad you kind of brought that up. There was no doubt ever that the cutscenes and the game itself, it's Gears. We knew Gears would always be good. But then when we actually see that what we have been wanting, what we have been craving, and having this ability to go out on the skiff and make this an open, not always open world, that it has its linear aspects from what I'm reading, but still has an open world aspect to it. Like this, pardon me, this is what we always wanted, and now we see it. And my question to you guys in the audience, and my question to the panel, why this long? Why days before the launch do we see the capability that the Coalition put into this game?
Brother, the reason why you saw that gameplay was because they were allowed to do previews and stuff like that. When it comes to big gaming media, they came out with the articles talking about this game and how big and expansive it is now in comparison to other
That
Gears.
was last week.
This was scheduled. This was scheduled this way.
A
Brother.
week ago or so, they said it was going to be like 50% bigger. 2 weeks ago, we've been waiting forever. I mean, listen, you can make fun of Death Stranding all you want, and you guys have the right to do that. I'm not going to take that away from you, but I'm just going to tell you guys this
can't
much.
Make fun of what I don't know what it is.
But he's at least showing. But he's showing it. You may hate it. You may not know what it is, but he's showing it months out. What I'm saying is, why is it we're seeing this great content 5 days before it comes out?
You know what I just saw, Mooch? I saw this picture from the campaign where I'm scrolling through my feed and they're shooting ice and the enemies are falling through the ice.
It's fantastic.
The frozen water. Why the hell did we see some generic ass gameplay that we saw at E3 and we're seeing stuff like this? I don't know.
To see that,
the biggest stage.
The biggest stage. The game, man. I didn't want to see that.
Dude, I wanted to get hyped for the game. I don't give two shits about the survival. I don't give two shits about Horde. I want to see the campaign.
You want to hype about WWE stars?
If they would have showed this footage at E3, they would have knocked it out the park because that's what everyone was asking for. Why would they just generically launch this footage and show everybody a lot of this stuff and just on a random day? That makes no sense. That was a wasted opportunity. If you ask me.
Brother, the most important thing that they showed, the most important thing, and I'll give it to you that it should have been shown at E3 was that campaign trailer. After that, like the hype was there all the way through. Yeah.
But think about it. It took me and Crap railing against the big forces of nature to be able to drag this out of them, and they finally were able to drag it out and show it back.
Yo, Jay, I just heard your head actually get bigger with the headset on, man. That is a weird thing. Your headset started creaking, yo.
I'm just being honest. You know, it took a lot of hard work and a lot of grinding and grunt, but we finally pulled it off, right, Crap?
We did. Not only did we pull it off, but Rod almost verbatim quoted one of my tweets about, how why wouldn't they show it and how it was unacceptable to wait till the launch date to show it, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, right? Like, why would you not show any campaign at all? And people go, well, why were you upset? Well, first of all, it's not a fanboy thing. Looking at the track record for Microsoft the past 3 years, the State of Decay 2s, the Recores, the Crackdown 3s, so the quality hasn't been there. It's not a long stretch of the imagination to think that they would mess this up somehow. Now, I feel the exact opposite today because they're showing this stuff and it looks amazing. And you know what I mean? Like, where was this? Like, I could have been hyped from E3. I could have been excited. I was happy crap today. Smile. I did a pro Xbox video. Like, Jesus, what is with Microsoft and not knowing their fan base?
Go ahead, Luca.
Wait. Okay. Listen. E3 was trash this year. I'm never gonna deny that. It was really bad. I hated it. Now, I know everyone's saying, oh, if we had seen the Gears campaign, we'd be hype and this wouldn't be a conversation and da-da-da-da. No, the conversation would be shifted to, well, yeah, I mean, Gears looks great and all, but it's just another Gears game because that's the narrative that's been running around for the last couple of years.
Right.
It's just another Gears game. Why didn't they show us something else? Why did they just show us this? Hold on. Why did they just show Hold on. Why did they just show this? Why did they just show this at E3? It's not even a big deal. Like, okay, Gears was cool, but the rest of the show was trash. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah, they should have shown more of the campaign. I'm with it. I'm with that 100%.
Absolutely.
But let's not act like this is some kind of revolutionary thing. And then the whole, hey, the reason why I personally wasn't worried about the campaign is because the Coalition has not given me any reason to be worried about the campaign. Now, if they were Bethesda or now BioWare, and they weren't showing it, I'd be like, okay, this is probably going to be a bad time, guys.
Well,
but it's the Coalition. Gears 4 was a solid game. It may not have been everyone's cup of tea, but it was solid. I would never say, oh my God, Gears 5 is probably going to be trash because they haven't shown us anything.
Crap, you like this, Jay?
I have to. Yeah, no, I have to. First of all, I have to like counter some points. If they would have shown what they shown today about the open world hub areas and stuff like that, nobody would go, it's just another Gears.
Thank you, Crap.
It's completely different from the ground up in that aspect. So right away, even if you look at the articles, it's like not just another Gears. So that would have totally erased that narrative. Mm-hmm. That's what they need to do. That not only did it get me excited about this Gears, it got me excited about the next Halo with that extended break.
That's
Second
right.
thing is, I want to say that nothing would have saved that E3, but at least their top game for this year would have shown a little bit better, in my opinion.
And that's all that would have been talked about too, Crap. If they showed what they showed recently, that's it would have just been nothing.
You know what
but
gets me-
positive stuff towards Microsoft
Hey,
and
and
towards the game.
What
And-
gets
and
me though,
also,
crap, is
my-
we've been saying this. We've been saying this for a while, right? We've all been saying on this show, at least in Xbox Nation, we've been saying, guys, this is what we want to see. Show us what's different. Why are you waiting so long? Then they do that this morning, and everybody on Twitter's like, "See, there you go. What was the worry about? It comes out in like 4.5 days."
Well, hey, here's the thing. The people they're saying
Hey, Mooch,
a
it
lot
seems
of
to
a
be
lot of the
working,
people.
brother.
No,
Hold on.
that's
A lot
not
of,
true,
listen,
Xbox.
Listen. I want to make two
What
quick
has Twitter
points.
been
First
talking
thing,
about all day today?
First
vocal
thing I
minority.
want to say, hello.
Oh, let
Is
Go ahead,
that-
Crap. Go ahead, Crap. Yeah, we hear you.
Holy fuck! I'm the interrupter, huh? Yeah. Anyway, so
I gotta get in there, Crap. I had like 8 minutes on last week's
Damn,
show.
what you're talking, man.
First thing I want to say is Gears of War 4, while I thought it was an okay campaign, it was definitely a letdown from the previous Epic made ones.
Yeah.
They had that stupid fabricator to buy time in the campaign, which was
Right.
very short. I think that game was only 6 hours long. 6 to 7 hours. So they had the fabricator parts where you did the tower defense. I didn't like that. I thought the characters were weak. They weren't great characters like the original 4, so I had that problem as well. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I didn't think that campaign was great, so that led me to have issues with this possible, and that's why I was thinking, hey, it might not be that great, and they're hiding it, and they weren't intending to show it till launch day. That was my thought process. So I'm glad that they decided to kind of reverse that. And then, I forget what the hell my other point was, but I'm sure it was going to be brilliant.
Well, I'm just confused as to what you would possibly think they were hiding. Hiding what? A short campaign? Hiding
Well, they kept
what?
on
Technical
promising
issues? Like,
Well, a short campaign. They were promising all these changes, and we hadn't seen any changes. So it's easy to promise stuff because Phil Spencer promises this the fucking world week after week and never delivers. I'm talking about they're saying, hey, we changed it. We played it safe with the last one, but this one's completely different. And then you don't show what's different.
Crap, they showed you a change from the beginning, and you were skeptical about that with Kate being the main character, man.
Well, to me, look,
I'm saying.
like that I could get into a whole thing about this, but it's not
But they
a stretch.
showed you a change, and the
It's not a
first thing you
stretch.
did
That's not a
was
change
got
anybody was
skeptical
looking
about
for.
it.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, it's not a stretch to think that Microsoft would do something like that just to do something like that. So that was my point, right? Like,
Mhm.
and I couldn't and you have to prove that otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like, this looks organic, it's fine, I don't care. But now it's like I'm happy, I'm excited. I
am
be
excited
about this game
Yeah.
from
Okay.
the beginning.
now I get that, but given Microsoft's track record when it comes to marketing, I didn't expect to see anything about this game until late. Which
But
is
what about
another reason
E3,
why-
Luca?
Oh yeah, no, I would have liked to see something during E3. E3 was trash. Like they should have shown it during E3, but they didn't. So.
Right.
You weren't going to get anything at Gamescom.
E3,
what's up? You guys hear me?
Gamescom. Yeah, Pred, what's up? Shout out to everybody. Pred's here. Pred's a little late, but he's always got a lot to say. Pred, we're talking about Gears 5 and the reveal today, basically on the previews.
Anything at Gamescom. And Gamescom's like the largest fan base, event in the gaming industry.
I mean, we all know the answer to this question. It's just Microsoft's poor marketing. That's it. Like, there is no other answer. Just give props to Crap and to J Dub.
No,
And
thank you.
And that's it. Well done, gentlemen.
No.
Well done.
Thank you.
Much
Like I
better
said
job than
before,
Microsoft.
unless I have a solid basis to be concerned about something involving a studio and their games, I'm not going to be concerned about it. I'm not going to spend months on end saying, well, I mean, what's wrong with the game? They must be hiding something. It must be a real issue. I'm not going to do that. Now, that's just me. And however you want to go about it, that's perfectly fine. We approach things differently. But I feel like this should be a lesson in, hey, maybe I should wait for the game to actually come out or to actually hear things about the game instead of making a bunch of assumptions off of nothing.
Well, like I said, they waited so long. But the other thing is, a lot of the people that were saying wait for it to see something were the ones that were hyping up that they were going to play 1 million hours of Crackdown 3 multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like that's a real
And then
problem. Like,
the
people-
majority, and then the majority of wait, hold on, bud.
Remember,
And then the majority of people who were crapping on the game and shitting on it and acting like it was going to be the most terrible thing ever are the people who are always bashing everything that Microsoft does, even when they do something good. So it's like I could bring that point back around as well.
You could, but I don't bash everything they do. I wanted
No,
to
I
like
wasn't.
this
I
game
wasn't
right from the
talking about
beginning.
you. I wasn't
I
talking
know.
about
I'm
you,
just
Crappy.
saying. I'm saying from my point of view.
Yeah.
I wanted them to do better. Like their games have been really trashy
They
for
have,
the past
yeah.
3 years. So that's why I wanted. This is my favorite franchise. I spent $350 on a tattoo on my forearm that everybody sees and goes, "Hey, it's the Gears guy." You know what I mean? Like, did I want some Did I want some watered down game? No, man. I'm like, I wanted this game to be great. I'm finally happy that this game's going to be fantastic.
Me too.
I'm
excited
my
again.
Expectation to an 87 Metacritic, man. That's
I got
huge for me.
88. Absolutely.
You know,
Can I chime in real quick?
My bad, Henry.
Real quick. There is something to be said about. I think I don't know if Crap or Lucas. Someone brought it up about this console generation, Microsoft's first party. Yeah, I think if it's not Gears, there's been some issues, or not Gears. If it's not Forza, there's been some issues with some of the first party titles. And I think that when there's a lot of us who are Gears fans didn't see the campaign. It was very trivial that they didn't show this, considering a lot of the hype and stuff they were putting out there, that it was going to be different. The gloves were off. It was going to be the biggest Gears they've ever done.
Right.
They're going to break away from the typical Gears campaign DNA that they've done the first 4 Gears. Maybe said there is some precedent here with, like, you look at Crackdown 3. Like, I was one of the folks that was like, or one of the gamers that was out there saying, "Oh my God, we haven't seen anything with the multiplayer." Like, that's a concern. And typically, and I said this earlier today, typically when a developer is hiding, or maybe not hiding something, but not showing something, there's sometimes an issue.
Yeah,
there.
and I can completely understand where you're coming from, Enrique.
And
However,
Crackdown 3 is. Hold on, let me finish. Crackdown 3 is proof of that. Like people were out there like worrying, like, wait a minute, like, it's been delayed. We haven't seen anything. We haven't heard anything from it. There was an issue. I mean, look at the way the game released. There was an issue with the cloud stuff, the multiplayer. I mean, the multiplayer was released broken. The campaign really was not that, let me just say my opinion, not that great. So there is precedent here. And there's also precedent, like, Coalition, have they done with Gears? No, I mean, they haven't. They haven't. They haven't gone Bioware on us. But who would ever thought that Bioware would put out bad games? And that's happened. And if I was to compare as a Gears fan what the Coalition's done versus Epic did when Cliffy B was there, I'm going to give Cliffy B and Epic, the nod over Coalition.
Okay, and I can completely understand where you're coming from when it comes to games like Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, and Sea of Thieves. However, for the most part, throughout the generation, Halo, Gears, and Forza have been solid. They've been solid. I mean, say what you will about Halo 5's campaign. It was a bit, we all know how that went.
Snooze fest.
But the the multiplayer for Halo 5 is fantastic, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And Forza always does well. It's Forza. And then, like I said before, Gears 4 was fine. Like, it was a perfectly acceptable, fine game. Therefore, I'm not concerned about it like I would have been concerned about Crackdown or State of Decay or Sea of Thieves, because this is their pillar franchise. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Crappy.
Hey, Luca, are you worried at all, like, since the Halo 5 campaign was lackluster, would you say that's concern for Halo 6's or Halo Infinite's campaign?
I would hope that they've, learned their lesson from Halo 5. As it stands right now, I'm definitely just going to wait and see on that one.
Yeah.
I would have to say I'm not super interested in Halo's campaign, to be quite honest. I prefer the multiplayer to it. I love the Gears campaign, which is why I feel like I can offer input on that. But as for Halo 5, I don't care about Halo like that.
Let me ask this real quick.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Xbox.
Real quick. I just want to chime in on that. No, I am not worried about Halo Infinite. And the reason why is if you look at what 343 did with Halo 4's story, then they are capable of coming out with an amazing story. In my opinion, Halo
they're batting 500. It's 50-50.
But they're capable, all right, of doing that. And then with Halo 5, I know they are capable of making an outstanding multiplayer.
Well,
now, what I'm hoping for the next Halo is that they put both of those things together into one package.
Here's the thing, and I got to be honest with you. So I knew this was going to happen. So this is. I mean, after you do this for so many years, and I want to ask J-Dub coming up next his opinion on everything that's going on, as well as get Nox's
J-Dub's here?
Yeah, he's here. But my point being, here is that, like, I knew this was going to happen. Crap, if you're eating, stop and mute. My point. You're like, crap. I like how all of a sudden Crap's professionalism goes down to a 25% level. So here's the thing.
Hear that?
Yes, we can. Sounded like
Mooch
you're
has got a car bump. He's
sound
got
like
a
you were
hurricane coming.
auditioning for a Lay's potato chip commercial. Listen,
Oh, man.
real
What
quick.
you say? Okay.
right? Luca knows me. So here's my thing. I got a question. We see Gears is making this turnaround, which is cool. It's great. I'm pumped again.
It's in the game of the year category now.
I think it's definitely talk. It's going to be talked to crap. But my question is now people are going to be like, oh, now with the time we saw with Rod and everybody had and this and that, this is going to be a new Microsoft. We're turning a new leaf. I'm not quite there yet. Because Rod is completely one of the most passionate developers and developing like captains, if you will, of all the Xbox teams. This guy, even though Gears 4 played it safe, it was still a hell of a game, okay? It played well. It was polished. It looked good. It was just safe on the story. So knowing that Rod made this upgrade to Gears 5 doesn't necessarily surprise me as much. But crap, what your concern last week when you brought this up, that 343 might not have the chops, that's still on the table. And I'm going to go to Jay. Jay, what was your take after you've seen this preview? Did this all of a sudden kind of release a little bit of pressure and be like, all right, now I feel like Gears is going to be a good pickup next week? J-Dubs. Dub to the J.
Kratos.
You don't want to.
There you are. Yep, there it is.
All right. I was muted, but I was talking, but I was muted. Yeah, but I think what I saw, I liked. I mean, it's definitely a day one for me.
Yes.
I was going to be playing it all along, but here's the thing. It's all of the negative publicity that's kind of been going on with this game, and everyone was basically puzzled and wondering why they didn't show the single player, why they didn't do this, why they didn't that. They really could have capitalized on a lot of goodwill and a lot of people. Like the theme console, right? I have one coming. They could have really like pushed this game over the edge if they would have showed that footage and really been marketing this. For the last 3-4 weeks, right? We've been asking, where are the commercials? Where's the advertising? Where is this? And I get it. It's on Game Pass, right? So maybe they feel like, hey, it's on Game Pass. We don't have to.
Commercial started about a week and a half ago, man.
Don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah, but that's not impressive.
But listen, this is think about it. They've only released 2 games this year. This and Crackdown 3. This is your big game. This is, I mean, technically your flagship title in the whole Xbox stable. They should have been screaming from the mountaintops, Gears. They should have been showing this game. We should have, thank God they did give us the little demo that they gave us for the multiplayer. That put a lot of people's mind to ease because it's a good looking game. The multiplayer is still there, it's still intact. They're going to add a shitload of modes, but I'm not a multiplayer Gears player at all. But I do like the single player story-driven narrative of it. That's
Jay. What are you grabbing from all the information you're hearing? Is it safe to say that this is probably a 12-hour campaign, which is still probably about 4 hours more than normal Gears campaigns?
Yeah, which is good. And with Gears 4, right? As long as it reached that Gears 4 level of gameplay, it's all good. Nobody has to have a 50-hour game. I get it. That's nice. I get it. That's nice. But once they start coming out with the rumors between 4 to 5 hours, then I started kind of getting shaky because look what they did with Quantum Break, right? That game itself was about 4 to 5 hours. If you take out all the movie type videos and elements that they had to it. Yeah. So, but I'm glad that the worries that I have for this game has been taken care of. Seems like they did a great job with the game so far. I think the game is going to rate what it should rate. I've always said Halo, Gears, and Forza, those will give you a solid 85 any day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to get.
And then the thing of it is with the whole it being 4 to 6 hours rumor, that was started by Kid Smooth. And he was just putting up there, like that wasn't a substantiated claim.
But see, exactly. But you see how things catch fire, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that shouldn't have never started because we should have saw this footage.
Hold on, Kid who?
And all of this information, right, should have been unveiled at E3.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, even if you don't, right? Even if you don't, it doesn't matter.
It should have been shown at E3.
E3.
Yes.
This is your biggest stage. You could have closed the show with this, and guess what? People would have had a great event, and people would have been poking fun.
Guys,
saying,
again,
what the hell?
Again, the thing of it is, the campaign trailer was the most important thing. And what we're talking about now, yeah, you guys saw certain like GIFs out there, and you saw the skiff going back and forth, between the ice and all that good stuff. But It was the articles themselves, Windows Central, the other articles talking.
I don't think
Exactly.
so. I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you
That's
why.
what created the hype today when
listen.
it came to Gears, man.
I don't think so. I think it was the
Okay.
footage that they
And
It was the footage
agree.
that they showed that started the fire.
Exactly.
Listen,
They
I
see the
look
footage,
at all
then-
those publications
then
and
they
I
do
take
research.
not one of them with any kind of credibility because their
Well-
gaming. I mean, some of them they hype up anything, right?
Where do you think that footage came from, bro?
No. Listen, again, it's footage. It's something you're looking at with your own eyes, right? That is what we want to see. We want to see stuff with our own eyes. We don't want to
Exactly.
see somebody
And-
typing on the keyboard telling us about it.
Exactly. Jay, let me go one step further here. And Luca, I'm going to kind of put your tweet out there because this is what you said earlier. You tweet, right? Right now. She's like, wait. She's like, no, don't bring that one up. No, Luca, you made a point here. Don't get me wrong. And I think it was a jab at multiple people. And I don't blame, right? You said next time, instead of whining on your podcast Twitter for months on end about how you're worried about a game, you should STFU. You guys know what that is. And wait for more news to come out about it. Here's the only thing, though, Luca. Like, in all honesty, was 5 days before the right time for us all to wait till? Like, every movie that you know you're going to see next year, you've already seen a minute clip. We saw a Joker clip, and that movie, I don't know when it's coming out, but it ain't coming out 5 days from now. So, right, we've already seen 2 trailers.
December.
Right, so what I'm saying is, like, this is why the conversation comes up, because in the gaming world, it generally reflects on a bad game.
Yeah, to add to that, you got a $500 console sitting out here, a theme console. People are wondering, hey, man, should I order this or not? Because I don't know, I haven't seen the single player footage. It does a lot of stuff that I'm not seeing, and it's just a lot of bad information out there. And Microsoft is not telling us. They hadn't showed us anything.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have held off on getting that until today, and now the system.
I'm saying what I'm saying is the footage you guys saw today.
Yeah.
There's a direct relation
Mhm.
to the people who sent out their previews and stuff today as well. You guys are just taking one slice of that pie and saying that is what everybody wants.
Xbot,
Right?
if we had this conversation at midnight last night, you'd have no ammo. None.
The thing is this, real quick, Luca.
Go ahead. No, let Luca go because I wanted Luca to explain that.
Okay, and this is how I'm going to explain it. Now, me personally, and this is just how I go about things, but I feel like I only need to say something once to get my point across.
Okay.
I don't feel like it needs to be a selling point or a talking point if it's something I'm concerned about for multiple shows, for multiple tweets, for multiple weeks. Like I personally, I don't do that. I'll use an example, Anthem. I saw Anthem, that beta demo, whatever the heck that was that came out. I was like, oh, this is about to be a bad time. And I left it at that and I didn't say anything else and I waited. I'm like, okay, we'll see how it shapes out. I wait for more information before making any claims one way or another, mostly just because I am in this community and people don't forget and they take screenshots and they record your voice and they will come back to you and they'll start shit with you and they'll be like, you were wrong about this. Here, I'm going to start shit with you. I'm very careful because of that. But also,
the thing is, though, here's the thing, though, Luca.
Also, just because I understand that it's like we have podcasts and
you
we
have to
find
talk
something to talk
6
about.
hours a week.
Something to talk about. I get that. I perfectly. I understand that.
They talked. Listen, they talked. Listen, the Giants with sports. A little sports section here. The Giants picked up They picked up Daniel Jones right in the first round. Everybody thought that was a bust. Right? No, I'm not. It's just a generality. But my point is like they talked about it on New York Sports Radio and ESPN for the past 6 months. The guy had never touched a cleat to the grass yet. Right? So nobody knows what he could do. But my point, though, is, Luca, is like, that's not really fair. I don't think that's a fair statement if you do shows a certain way. Myself, personally, I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this in general. In general, my point is like, what are we supposed... This is a very hot topic for Microsoft. They've had nothing really great in the past few years, right? That comes out. Now they actually have a chance, an opportunity to show something at E3. Everyone says wait to E3. E3 comes out. They don't show anything. All of a sudden, it becomes like that Giants draft pick. It's like, do we have cause of concern? And then it's like, maybe that'll lead them to show something, which it did 3 days before, 4 days before, 5 days before, whatever it is, before the actual launch. That's in this business a huge uh-oh. And that's what I kind of find interesting. And that's why, don't get me wrong, beating it to death is, you're right. That I don't agree. I think you should be able to bring it up for a quick 5-10 minute a segment and move on. If we're talking about it forever, I'm there with you, Luca. If it's a 2.5 hour segment 3 times a week, you got to find another subject. But I mean, don't you see what I'm saying? Like, I think it is a subject matter.
No, I can see where you're coming from. Yes. Yeah. But me personally, if I'm tuning into a show,
yes,
and you guys are talking, and I'm using a general you guys,
yes,
and if people are talking about the same thing they've been talking about for the past 2.5 months,
right,
I'm leaving. I'm not listening to it. It's
well,
like,
that's
why
you.
Yes, that's me.
Right.
That is me. And there are people who feel the same way as me, and then there are people who feel the same way as you.
But there's people that are tuning it.
But for me, I don't feel like listening to repetitive stuff over and over again every single week, weeks on end. We get it. You're concerned.
There's people.
We get it.
But Luca,
I understand. Why are you
Luca,
continuously bringing? Hold on. Why are you continuously bringing up the same thing over and over again?
But you do that on Twitter. You do it on Twitter for days.
Your point is, when's the last time I went on like a
No, I'm just saying, I've seen a thread go for...
When is the last time I've done that?
Last week?
I've barely been on... What did I talk about?
I don't know. It wasn't that long ago.
You gotta start taking screenshots.
No.
I don't do that. I don't care.
You can't come at me, Mooch, unless you have proof.
Okay, I'll quit my job and start taking screenshots. Listen, here's my thing. Like, I got better things to do. All I'm saying is...
Hold on, Mooch. You have your phone. Most of us are connected to
the internet
all day, every day. If you don't care, then why are you bringing it up?
No, you're bringing it up. You're saying we can't talk about it.
And I'm saying that I said
I don't care. You do care. You're like, if you're going to talk about it, I'm out. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so why is me leaving a problem? That's just my opinion.
It's not.
I want to hear it. It sounds like it's a problem.
No, it's definitely not. No, you're not. No, you're not reading. You're not reading me right. You're not reading. No, you're not reading me right.
No, you're not reading what I'm saying right. I'm saying that if you want to keep bringing up the same thing,
yes,
and beating a dead horse,
yes,
and repeating a topic,
right?
Kudos to you. Do whatever you want. I'm just not going to listen to your show. That's whatever.
That's okay.
And you're saying, well, okay, Luca, but you're not going to tune in, and this and this and this. I'm like, dude, it's not a big deal if I don't want to listen. It's not.
Right.
It's whatever.
No, I agree.
So that's what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
You said, Luca, that's you.
I'm saying,
cool.
I'm saying that's
yes, that's
right.
me. And then Mooch, this is you. Mooch, do whatever you want to do.
Right.
It's news.
It's news. That's my point. My point is it's news. If you don't like what's happening on podcasts or the news channel for politics or sports, you don't watch it. But there's other people telling us you shouldn't be talking about it. Well, that's not fair either. And that's what you're saying. You're like, you guys shouldn't be talking about it so much. My point is this. Don't listen. Like I said, don't listen.
No, I don't listen.
And that's my point. I'm okay with that. But people telling us that we shouldn't bring it up is like crazy.
Why do you? Okay, but why does my opinion about saying people should just wait even matter then? Why would you look at my tweet and be like, well, she's telling us to shut the fuck up. I care that she's telling us to shut the fuck up. I'm going to bring her on the show and ask her, why are you telling us to shut the fuck up?
No, I thought it was cool because, listen, Luca, no. What I'm saying to you is this. I think it's awesome that you say that.
Because we are the Mooches.
I know, we are the Mooches. That's the thing.
We're going to keep going back.
Luca, I am going to send,
my opinion is my opinion.
Yes.
And how I feel about something is how I feel about something.
Absolutely.
And if anybody has an issue with how I feel, I'm willing to talk it out. But at the end of the day, no one should give a flying flip of a fuck about my opinion, because my opinion should not matter to anyone. Or
I think your opinion does matter.
No, I mean in the sense that if you feel strongly about something, someone else's opinion shouldn't sway you in any way. Therefore,
that I agree. I agree.
That's how I go about.
I can't help but agree with 90%. I know. I agree with her.
I don't think there's any one person not going to look at a podcast because one single person says they're not going to tune in. So that's a non-starter. It doesn't even really matter, right? Mm-hmm. It really doesn't. But the mere fact that, back to the subject, was, hey, we're 5 days away from this game launching, and there's been nothing but negative publicity prior to it.
Right.
And yes, we've been harping on it, but only to try to, hey, crap, tell them, only so we can band together and hopefully that Phil Spencer and gang and Rob Ferguson will listen to us and say, okay, look, these guys are harping on this. They want us to show the single player footage. Fine. We're finna roll that beautiful beam footage. and we did it. And they released
No,
the footage.
no, I
and
think
there
The
you
fact
go.
of the
I'm
matter
gonna
is,
buy.
man, they
that
should
you
have been
guys
hyping up this game
succeeded.
before, a little bit before 5 days. Like they should have been
Way
waiting
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sounds like
I
a
Right.
agree with that.
Listen,
And
and it kind
I'm
of goes
sorry, go
back,
ahead,
right?
Kratos.
Death Stranding, right? This game, they had commercials and advertisement shit a whole year ago, and we still don't know. We still don't know what this goddamn game is going to be. But they've
That's
been
right.
marketing
Physics
it
simulator.
crazy, right? They've been marketing it like crazy. And they're going to do it. They're going to treat it like they did God of War and Spider-Man and stuff. You're going to see billboards. You're going to see all kind of stuff. They got a freaking stupid baby that they're selling. It's probably going to be a custom theme console. And think about it. And we don't know what this fucking game is, but they're advertising
Right.
it. And we got Gears, one of the biggest, the biggest Xbox game ever. And yet we finally got this footage.
And that's the thing. Were we
5
wrong?
days before we got the
I
footage
think-
to shut us up.
But I think this all comes into fruition. The whole
But it didn't
conversation
shut you
does.
up, though, did it, brother?
But
No,
was
I think it did. I
was
think
all
it
the
did.
was all the complaining worth it, or was it not?
Yo,
Well,
they
I
showed the
think,
campaign. My bad.
no,
my
go
bad.
ahead, buddy.
Go ahead.
Yo, they show the campaign, and you guys are like, "But I want more." Then they show more, and then you're like, your next thing is like, "Well, why are they
that's
showing
not-
it now?"
No.
Like,
They
you
did not
streamlined the hell out
the
of that.
campaign that we wanted. We wanted to see the footage that we saw today in yesterday. That's what they should have been
Are
showing
you
us.
are you talking about the GIF that this what was the dude?
What's a
thing? It
GIF?
began with
Nah,
an
we
eight.
don't know what a GIF is.
Butter.
No,
A GIF?
no, that,
Jiffy?
it's, no, it's actually
A GIF?
it's guys. If you look into it, it's actually pronounced GIF.
I'm gonna call it GIF, okay?
It's
Okay,
GIF.
I'm
It's-
just
it's a
I
GIF.
just I try to be proper, man. I try to put the proper info out there, man. I try to pronounce.
Hey,
things.
crap! If you don't mind, one of you guys, can you guys just scroll up in the chat real quick and read the? I had to refresh my screen froze, so when I refreshed, I don't
Yeah,
have
you
the
got-
super
you got quite
chats.
a few super
Can
chats,
you-
brother?
Can anyone scroll up and
Let's
grab me
go
those?
real quick?
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you, Fred.
All right.
I couldn't
I
get them.
don't see
My
it.
screen froze, and then
Thank you,
Well,
Luca.
Look, I was looking at my topics for the last 2 months on Xbox Nation. Gears of War was a topic 3 times. One was after we saw that footage at Gamescom. One was with the rumor of the 6-hour campaign, and then one of them was about the lack of marketing. So I don't think that, like, I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about it negatively ad nauseum anyway. Like, we talked about it a few times. And then as
Crap,
it gets
always
closer to
comes up,
release,
crap,
Yeah,
it
and
always-
then, like,
it might
okay.
not be in the topics.
All right,
but
let me
it
pay
comes
the
up.
bills real quick for
Go ahead.
yes,
Fred.
please,
Uh,
Fred.
We need $5. I know one game that should have waited 5 days before release to show gameplay. That's Death Stranding. LOL.
hey, how about that? How about that Blair Witch though, right?
Right.
Oh,
Alvin Hebe. I haven't. I don't know what PHP, but it's 99, whatever the hell that is. Gears 5 be Game of the Year. J-Dub signs that Xbox contract.
Oh,
And
Hey, I'll tell you this, right? I hope Gears wins Game of the Year. I doubt it, because there's a lot of big bangers that came out this year and still yet to come. I think Nintendo's going to wrap up.
Nintendo's
we got
probably
one more.
Nintendo's going to wrap it up, depending on how this next footage we see of Death Stranding.
yes.
Once we finally figure out what the hell the game is, who knows? It may be a flop or it may be the Game of the Year. We don't know. But all I know is Sony spent that money. Jeff Keighley. It's a shoe-in. Death Stranding is a shoe-in. He got Jeff Keighley's in the game. Come on,
Right.
I mean, they
Rock
spent
Dog
the money.
3-1. Thank you, Luca. A lot of people feel like you. Thank you for saying it.
Yeah, no, she's right. And I'll tell you, the thing is, a
wait,
lot of
wait,
people
so
do feel that way. But I mean, at the same time, it's difficult because a lot of times the Crap said he looked back and he said 3 times in the topics. But to be honest with you, Crap, I mean, I was there for all the shows. It came up every week. My point being, or a lot of the weeks, I shouldn't say
I
every
don't
week,
remember
but a
it
lot.
coming up every week.
Well, it
to be
came up
honest with you.
many, not every. But my point is that what I'm saying is like you do 3 shows a week, and like this is news. And I do think it's a
Yeah,
big
I
deal.
get
And
that.
and I think, Luca, that we'll see is that Halo, maybe, who knows? We have a year to find out. But do you think now, let's put it this way, everything we've all gone through and everything we just talked about, next E3, do you think from E3 forward, we're going to get like tons of Halo hype now? Because I bet
No.
you now they may. You don't think that'll force them a little?
No. Like at the end of the day, I'm sorry, just real quick, Kratos.
No, go ahead.
At the end of the day, they still just showed the Gears 5 campaign 5
Right.
days before launch.
Yep.
So they're going to continue doing whatever it is that they want to do. I think it's important to address your concerns, of course, but at the same time, a big thing for me is given the fact that I do spend a lot of time on social media,
Mhm.
and I have really been trying to mitigate that, honestly. But For me, I see that people have a tendency to overreact and take things to another level. Now, that tweet I sent out, I wasn't directing it at any one person.
It was general. It was general.
Yeah, it was very general. There are people who are very, how do I say, irritating. I just want to choke the life out of them, And they, when they brought up their quote unquote concerns about Gears, I'm just like, well, these are known people who just hate everything that Xbox does. It doesn't even matter whatever. So it's like I'm talking to those people as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then also, I had Gears of War as a topic on my podcast as well, and I was just kind of like, listen, I'm not concerned. And then I would argue with my panel members who were concerned. I'm not faulting you.
Right.
Bring up.
No, I think both sides are right. I think it's very easy to sit on one side of the coin, right, Luca, and say basically, what in the hell are you guys worried about? This is a team that is bona fide, right? They're award winning. This is Rod. He's a part of the original series. What the hell is to be worried about? The other folks are saying, hey, wait a minute. Anytime there's a lack of footage shown or reviews come out, like reviews are allowed to come out, Luca, September 4th, I think, right? September 4th. It comes out September 5th now on Ultimate Access, right? So, that's a day. Generally, when you have a blockbuster AAA flagship game on a certain platform, those are warning signs. I'm not making that up. That's something that was told to me 5-6 years ago, right? Because generally, remember Forza? They showed the Forza reveal and they showed the Forza review 2 weeks before it launched. That's right.
And then some. Okay, and this might just be an outlier, but then there are times like with Doom 2016 where things end up being perfectly fine. And I think Kratos was going to say something before.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was just going to say, right? Here's the thing, right? When you're consistently cranking out a ton of a ton of quality, right?
Okay.
People will give you the benefit of the doubt. Like right now, right? We don't know what the hell Death Stranding is going to be, right? But people are pretty comfortable with it because of the previous games that
Kojima made.
In the potential track record that Sony has had this last 3 to 4 years, right? So it's like, okay, even if you look at Days Gone, right? It got a 71 Metacritic, but most people that played it said, look, the game should be a 80, 85. But we know it launched and it didn't have the patch whenever they had it for whatever reason. Now I'm not trying to make up for it, but this is Gears 5. This is your biggest title. You haven't had a ton of great games. So this is why people were worried, because your track record, when you look at Halo, right? For the last couple of Halos, the trend has been going on a downward spot. The last couple of Gears, it's been going on a downward trend. So this is why people were generally worried. They wanted to see what they were going to get.
Right.
And nothing's wrong with being worried. This is, you're spending $60.
That's my point. I don't think there's anything to worry. If you're worried about it, then what's wrong with that? I mean, here's the thing: Crap's got a tattoo on his arm, right, of the actual franchise, and he was thinking maybe this thing's going to make a turn for the worst. And it's like, I mean, just to say, I mean, that is kind of a big deal, right, Crap? I mean, we thought about that. We talked about it behind the scenes. It's like, well, they're not seeing anything, and it's like that's because think about it. What is it an artist can't wait to do? I don't care if it's painting on a canvas or putting something out on digital. Okay, they can't wait to show it. Like, they're proud of their work. And I'm like, why are you waiting until 4 or 5 days before? It's a head scratcher at the least. And I think that you take that and then you look at E3, the largest stage, where you have ABC, NBC, CBS, every gaming outlet, everybody's there. It's big time news, and you show Escape, a multiplayer mode. That's like, it's like a battle royale. It's not battle royale, but it's like a battle royale mode. It's a mode. Like, you're showing a mode with the biggest stage. Then you go to Gamescom. 350,000 foot traffic. Unbelievable. You're trying to attack and get the European and Asian market, and what do? Nothing. You didn't show much at all. It was more CGI clips.
Listen, here's the thing. I've been in this podcast for like 20 minutes, and I know you guys probably been on for like an hour, damn near. And the fact that we spent this much time on a 30-second video of this game lets us know it's newsworthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it's a driving force.
Force. I had my Gears when I saw the Gears themed console, I pre-ordered it, and and then I ended up canceling after after a few days. They just wouldn't show anything. And again, it's like, man, you like show me something.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed me something, and I went ahead and pre-ordered it again. But
what do you guys think about this?
Especially when you have
there's a lot of people, right, that are like
that.
That are like that. They're fence sitters.
Right. Well, what do you guys think about this? Now, you have Borderlands 3 is coming out September 13th. The official release date for Gears 5 is September 10th. So I understand that a lot of people have Ultimate Game Pass for 99 cents. I get it. But other than that, right? Other than that, I got to say, do you think that maybe this was a bad move? Like, because the longevity of Gears is the multiplayer, or whether you play it or not, that's another story. But I mean, having it that close to Borderlands 3, I really think that that's an issue.
Do you think they should have pushed it back or
yeah? Luca, I'm glad you asked. I really would have said
Borderlands or Gears.
I would have said push Gears to the end of the month.
I mean, I listen. Borderlands it's huge. I mean, they can say whatever.
Games.
Hold on, they can say whatever they want about like Bungie can say whatever they want. I think they pushed back Destiny 2, the new DLC, because of Borderlands coming out so soon. So,
great point, Luke. I didn't even think of that.
I know they're two different games, but I know a lot of people who play Gears who also play Borderlands. So I'm just saying, man.
Yeah,
I'm on borrowed time with Gears 5. I already know that because as soon as Borderlands 3 comes out, I'm dropping Gears 5 and going to Borderlands.
That's where I'm at.
Rush through Gears as they play Borderlands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're into the campaign, you're gonna knock that 10-hour campaign out right quick, right before Borderlands drops, and you get to experience both worlds right there with no problem. If you're a fan of both, like me, I'm a fan
in the campaign in the campaign for Gears, if you want to explore, go off to the side, do other things and stuff like that. People are talking more like 24 hours before you get to the end.
Okay.
Well,
on that, right?
It's actually 15 to 20 hours.
I'm going to have to see that, right? I'm going to have to play it and see that.
I will be. I got
to see that with my own eyes.
I'm not saying nook and crevice of that game.
10 to 12 hours is fine, bro. 10 to 12 hours is perfectly fine for a campaign. They don't need to be longer than that.
Exactly.
Right.
No, listen, because there's a lot of games out there. They try to stretch a game out, even though it's a 6-hour game. They try to stretch it out with a bunch of fluff that doesn't really need to be stretched out. And by the way, I'll tell you this: Days Gone, great game to me, but it was stretched.
Absolutely stretched out about 15 hours too long. No joke.
Yeah, like literally. Like,
yeah, see, that's
you can put
unnecessary.
3 Gears 5 games in that one game, and it's like, man, it's like.
I gotta say, shout out to AJ Felton, and Luca kind of chuckled when I said it, because like when you put it that way, he goes, "Man, Mooch, stop saying 99 cents." No, but for real, like, right? Like when because a lot of people are like, "Come on, Mooch, everyone's gonna be playing Gears." Of course, like I said, literally for 99 cents, you will, of course, a lot of people are gonna be playing it, especially the people you hear in the vocal minority on Twitter, etc. We're all gonna be playing it. Why wouldn't we for $1? I mean, if you offered me $1 right now for like Soda Drinker Pro, I'd be like, for $1. All right, fuck it, right? Exactly. So, I mean, but to get on Jay's point, I don't want to switch subjects real quick, because that is a good issue. That one screenshot that we saw of 100, it was 100% complete. He was only, whatever it was, 4 or 5 hours in, and he barely touched it at 15% or something like that. Yeah. That's being a completionist. That's using Jay's example of what he just said with Days Gone. Like, I got the platinum on Days Gone, but I got news for you. I put in like 65 hours. If you don't want to do that, by the way, you can totally beat Days Gone in 35 hours. 30 hours, like easily. I'm never gonna platinum that game. I just want to beat it and be over with. It was just too long. I don't blame you one bit, but Gears, I think, and Xbox, this goes to you. Xbox, if Gears is slated for 27 hours for completing it, 1,000 out of 1,000, I think it's easy to say that 12 to 14 hours may complete the game for people that are just playing it through.
I'm excited. The thing,
which is good, by the way.
Me personally, I'm not buying Borderlands 3 for some rhyme or reason. Borderlands it doesn't.
Your bag.
It's not your bag.
It's not my bag.
Borderlands is a huge game.
Shadowkeep, I'm all in for. And
so
Luca,
so let me ask this question, everybody on the panel, right? So like between now and maybe December 1st, what's your gaming itinerary?
Destiny 2.
NBA 2K, Destiny 2. Gears. I'm gonna be streaming Blair Witch tonight. I want to see about like how many times I'm gonna run through that.
I'm pretty sure Blair Witch could put you into a coma, but I'm not sure.
I love scary stuff, man.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
That looks like a great game, by the way.
It's fire.
remaster, I guess is what you can call
Link's
it.
Awakening.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Gonna get that. Iron Man VR. They're gonna be showing that here pretty soon.
Hell yeah, man! Looking forward to that too.
Death Stranding.
You guys are looking forward to that 4 hours of gameplay right there. Man.
Wait, Death Stranding is coming out this year, right?
November.
Yeah, November.
Okay.
November the 8th.
I'm gonna debut something on your channel, Mooch.
Please.
Man, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to cop a Switch, my guy. Like, oh
Do
my
it!
god, like,
Yes!
there's.
I've been waiting.
$199. Hey, the new one's gonna be $199.
I knew that was
Oh
coming.
man,
Yes!
like, listen, that Fire Emblem. Oh my god, and then they got that Yu-Gi-Oh game. I'm just like,
Luca, you almost sold it to me when you were showing your friend. You're like, I'm at my friend's house and he won't stop playing it, and I actually don't mind. You're like, this is great. What is it about the game that you could? What sold you on it?
I love story-based games, and after Persona 5, I'm into any kind of game that's even similarly or remotely like that. I know it's also turn-based, but like in a different kind of style. But I'm just interested in the story, and that's what's making me like feel compelled to go pick up a Switch. And my little sister came home from college. I walked downstairs. I'm like, bitch, what is that? And she's got a Switch and playing Fire Emblem. My panel member Slow-Mo, he's just like, yeah, I'm playing Fire Emblem. Enrique is playing Fire Emblem. That's all I ever
crazy.
hear about. I'm like, bro, I need to get a Switch. Like, I need to get a Switch. They got me.
Slow-Mo hated on the Switch for forever, and he got it, and he is hooked now. He says he's gaming on it 64% of the time.
Okay, so here's my question, and we're really going off topic, but I got to ask Luca: are you going light or are you going the original?
Man, I don't know, cause like I kind of want to play on the TV.
I gotta say, please go original. Please
Luca,
go original.
I would say go original just to have the option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With light, you're spending the money, but you're not getting the extra option.
It's the craziest thing, too. I will say this much. There's no kickstand on the light, first of all. Second of all, Luca, if you're going to take this thing on the road, anyone listening, you're going to take this on the road, and you're going to travel, I never do this in any situation. But when I'm on a plane or you're on something you're playing, it is kind of neat to be able to put it into the kickstand mode, take the controllers off, and it is comfortable to sit back and be able to play in a confined space. Like, listen, the thing is meant to be portable. So if it's going to be portable, you want to be able to do all things, right? Well, yeah, I mean, it's true. It is true. But I'm saying, though, why not have the option? Two, why not have the multiple portable options? That's taking off the Joy-Cons, having the kickstand, having the ability to use the Pro Controller if you want, and just leaving the kickstand on. There's multiple things. With the Lite, yes, I do understand that it feels a little bit more robust. It feels like you could throw it on the couch. It's not going to be so, you know what I mean? It's one solid unit. But you've got, if anything goes wrong with your Joy-Cons, anything goes wrong with your D-pad, something goes wrong with anything on there, you're screwed. It's just a complete unit, and you can't dock it to the TV, has no kickstand, and it's the same damn cost. I got to be honest with you, you just get so much more. Or if it's even, excuse me, stop. No, it is. It's $100 cheaper. My fault.
Cheaper,
I apologize.
Yeah.
My apologies. But I'm saying for the $100 more, Luca, you get the TV, you get the up-res, because when it goes to TV, it's 1080p versus 720p or lower on the portable unit. And you have the Joy-Cons. I don't know, myself personally.
I'm telling you, if
okay, so here's the alternative.
I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
Here's the alternative. You could spend the $199 and get the light, and then just buy 2 bangers with the rest of the $100. I mean,
Oh, Jay.
That's a good point. That's a good point there.
Jay, can I remind you of something? Luca is the female Mooch. She's going to be getting her games for free. So what she needs to do,
That's also a good point.
right?
Luca, if you buy a Switch, I will gift you Fire Emblem. I will get you the.
There it
digital
is!
copy.
Okay, see, there we go.
It's like I knew the future.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think, honestly speaking, if if those games were not exclusive, I would never consider picking up a Switch. But I don't have.
Thank you.
Oh,
Exclusive matters.
she said the E word.
That sells the
Exclusive.
Just-
I mean,
I just picked
isn't
up
that the
actual
reason
game
why
today.
everyone has a Switch? It's like
Nope.
they can't
Listen.
get those games anywhere else.
But there's a lot of people feel like it's only about the multiplats.
It's not,
dude,
though.
Dude, I will let
It's
you
my-
know. Yo, Jay, I will let you know. For months, my brother Z, shout out to Next Gen 720. For months when I was on BGST, I was arguing with him that exclusives matter, and he was saying it was all about the multiplats. All right, so when it comes down to it,
depends on
now
what
we're
type
gonna
of-
turn it. We're gonna turn
It depends on what type of gamer you are. If all you play, right, is Madden 2K, or if all you play is multiplats, the same multiplayer, which there's millions of them.
Gears
like my brother, he
brother.
only plays Madden 2K, and he will not dare
He
touch
plays
any
Gears
other game.
multiplayer. Don't get it twisted, bro.
I'm talking about my brother. And so I can't get him to try anything else outside of those two games. He doesn't want to. So that's why a lot of people say multiplats matter. He don't care about exclusives.
Yo, Jay, this is the deal. When it comes to exclusives, they are the personality of the platform. That right there, that's what the exclusives are. But at the end of the day, when you look at the games that are played mostly on these platforms, when you look down the lists and stuff like that, what you're gonna see 9 out of 10 times on those numbered lists are the God of Wars, the Maddens, and stuff like that. You're gonna see mostly multiplats on the lists of what people are playing, what most people are playing on their platform.
Yes, because people play multiplayer games with their friends. That's any game. If you had an exclusive multiplayer game, that would Gears, exclusive multiplayer. Of course, everybody and their mama going to be playing it, and they're going to be playing it for a long time. And that's something right there. But that's still an exclusive, right? That's still an exclusive game. But
like games like Uncharted, Uncharted has some multiplayer as well. But you don't see it in everyone to this day,
they're still playing that game.
You don't see it in the top 10 most played games on PlayStation.
No, you did. I mean, obviously the game is like 5 years old now, but at that time,
5 years old,
you still saw that game. Even right now,
5 years before the first of 4 delays. Man.
No. Maybe so, but guess what? It won what Game of the Year, or it got like 95 Metacritic. I mean, it's critically acclaimed.
Guys, real quick. Let me. I got a super chat here. Phil Pyromancer, he says this is a good point too for Luca. The docking switch also has a new version that gives you more battery power for portable mode, even longer than the Switch Lite. Get the new model. I've got to agree with that. The new model does also go from a 3 to 6 to I believe a 7 to 10. Battery life, and the reason there's the ranges, it depends on how much it's actually drawing. Something like Link to the Past, pardon me, but Breath of the Wild is extremely heavy on the console. So when you have the traditional one like I have on the road, you're going to be lucky if you get 2.5 hours. They're saying you can get 6 to 7 hours now on a game that intense on that device. So that's a great point, Phil. Pyromancer,
is it out already?
Yes,
it's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Phil Pyromancer. Yeah, I've been shitting on the Switch and Nintendo for years, it seems like, but honestly, they got me.
I can't blame you.
Somebody post those receipts.
I
know.
Leave
her alone.
I was wrong.
Leave her alone.
I was wrong.
What do you guys think?
No, it's really good. It's a good. Hey, especially those exclusives, right? I mean, exclusives matter.
Yep.
They really do.
Those things.
Crap. What did we say? Now that we're past the power discussion, because next generation. I mean, we're still in it now because the X is superior to the Pro. I mean, as far as power, we know that. That's not. I mean, even you have Control that came out last week, and Control's running at 1080p and is having a lot of frame rate issues. I can speak to that myself. I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And the Xbox One X is at 1440p and less. They're having some issues too. They definitely screen capped a bunch of different things from Digital Foundry that showed 19 frames as well on the X, but less occurring.
I think that's more of a what do you call it?
Remedies problem.
Yeah, it's more of a remedies problem, because think about it. You got 6 T-flops, and if it's not running optimal, and so anything under that is not going to be running optimal. So that's something I think they're going to be able to fix.
It's a valid argument. And I know that just today, I believe, if it wasn't today, it was late last night. They said
it's the less customized Jaguar cores in the Pro, and that's exactly what it is.
No, you think about it, right? With that same hardware, you got games like Gears 5 able to run how it runs. You got games like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, the rest of the other 10 million plus sellers out there that runs impeccable. So why is
it's a studio thing? Yeah,
right? It's something's going on with that engine.
It's the engine, yeah.
And mind you, Quantum Break didn't run flawlessly when it launched back then. So that's why I say I think it's
the studio.
Yeah. They need to optimize it more.
It's the engine.
The game looks good, right? But
there is a
it's
just so you guys know,
nowhere near the level of
it is.
or
Yeah, it's
or
very
Gear-
taxing on
or
the
God of
system
War.
too. That's why
There is a
that's
patch coming
Well,
out in the next few
Control was
days.
pretty much made exactly the same way that Quantum Break was.
yeah.
Improved reflections
Let's
and stuff
let's
like
face
that.
it. This
but
game is Quantum Break 2 with a different name. That's
Yep,
all.
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Basically, it really is. And
so is it okay? Is it okay now? Because I've been saying how much I like Quantum Break and stuff like that, and there's been people trying to throw me in the dumpster. Is it okay now?
No,
Because
no.
Control
Listen,
came out, multiplat, basically made the same way. Is it okay now for me to say Quantum
I
Break was a
always,
good
I always
game?
said
Well,
I
I
like
mean,
Quantum Break. Quantum Break.
Control-
they don't have the 6 to 10 hours of freaking movie included in it.
That was dope too.
Plus,
Like the
people
TV
are
show.
still talking about Control having like issues, and I know Quantum Break had a lot of issues when it was first released. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine that you like the game, but it's just kind of like, it's not like people are praising Control for its story, but I've heard ever since it came out, it's like, this is very taxing on PCs even. So,
yes,
Yep.
yeah,
I
actually,
don't
great
know.
point. Look at that. You can't use the DX12. So DX12 is supposed to reduce a lot of the issues that was DX11 was kind of left for PC gamers. And I'm new to that, so I don't really know. But people I know that are playing it on PC said that they've X'd out and are not using DX12. They've switched and they've told their computers to use DX11 because it can't handle it. So I do think this is a problem. I know they have a patch coming out. Is anybody else? I mean, I know I'm playing. I know Crap just started today. Is anybody else on the panel playing Control? I'm about 6 hours in now. And
I'm playing it too.
my quick take on it is everything the panel just said was pretty accurate. It really is the development and follow up to what you guys all think that was Quantum Break. This gave Remedy a little bit more of a chance. And it's weird to say because it does have its hiccups with frame rate, but it does feel a little bit more polished than Quantum Break. Quantum Break's go ahead.
My bad, Mooch. But even Salty in the chat said the same thing. It is CPU intensive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at what we're using right now,
Absolutely.
Jaguar cores are absolutely ancient. And the only thing going on with the Xbox One X is they have highly customized the Jaguar cores to the point where we didn't even think what they were doing was actually
Stop
possible.
it, man. Stop it.
Yeah, no, dude.
Stop it.
If you're not a tech guy, just admit you're not a tech guy.
Come
Come on, Jay. It's all good. It's all good, Jay.
It's still running
Come on.
1440p like in 10 frames. So I mean, come on.
Crap, have you run into any performance issues or Enrique on the X?
I haven't run into any performance issues so far, but well, I mean,
Crap,
like,
I
again,
think you're a little
I'm
early on. When you get 4 or 5 of her powers and it's all happening at once with the particle effects, it really does slow. Well, on the PS4, it's very noticeable.
Power. I just picked up the second power, so yeah, it's you know what I mean. I haven't noticed anything. I mean, the game doesn't look like it's a stunning looking game. You know what I mean? I remember when I played Quantum Break, I was like, hey, this is a really gorgeous looking game. But again, most of the people that play it on Xbox are playing it in 720p, which is, you know what I mean? Like nowadays, especially if you're playing on a 4K TV, can you imagine playing a game in 720p? Like that just would not look good. Yeah, it just wouldn't look great. So, you know, even in 2019, we're seeing that, you know, there's some issues there. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, like I like the game so far. I think it's cool. I think Sam Lake is a good writer. Like that was a problem with Quantum Break. They didn't let him write the story for the game. You know, like he wanted to do certain things and Microsoft wouldn't let him, you know. So,
brother, what I am impressed about in Control when it comes to the game, and I don't have the game because unfortunately we moved to give the kids a better life and stuff like that, and we are broke right now. So Game
good
Pass
on for you, man. That is good for you, man.
Game Pass is a godsend right now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I agree with you. I'm able to play Gears on my PC for $1. I can't. Ecstatic.
Makes sense.
But in Control,
hey, you just got that Gears Xbox One X, man.
Hey, man,
but check this out. In Control, and this is something I haven't heard anybody talk about, was the amount of destruction that is actually in this game. Like when you see an office, an office desk, you can literally break it down into pieces.
Yes.
Like
that should be noted. Yes.
The amount of destruction in this gives it a higher level of immersion because, like, when you shoot a glass, it shatters and the vertical blinds start dancing around and you see the light kind of like going through it and stuff like that. Like, it is a very intense game, but when it works right, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
mean,
definitely
I must
does.
not be far enough in for it to look
No,
amazing.
crap. You're not. Honestly, you got to get about when you get to
Yeah.
about the fifth hour. It starts to really like. There's a lot more enemies on screen than there was with Quantum Break. They're able to do that with I don't know, just having time to be able to develop. I guess they were trying to push. I will say this much: Quantum Break was a better looking game. Would you guys ride with me on that one? I think the surroundings, the environment, the detail, but the fighting mechanic is better. Yes, the character, the fighting mechanics in Control, to me, I like better than Quantum Break. That's my difference.
Quantum Break, what got me visually was the time glitches when everything froze, and yet you can still walk by. There's like, a hunk of the street or a street light just like floating in the air. You can literally, as you're walking through it, like push it out of the way and stuff like that. Everything that was frozen wasn't static.
Right.
Like if you bumped into it, it moved and stuff like that. That's what really caught me visually when it came to the graphics of Quantum Break. And then you look up at the sky, it looks like glass shattering, but it's the skybox and
That's
stuff
right.
like that. It's the
Good memory.
Time freeze.
Yeah.
I've played it recently.
Okay. I was like, I remember that now that you mention it, but it's been a while.
Yeah, no, what they did with that and how they put that out there was incredible.
Well, let's talk about the best known secret out there, right? I think Jay mentioned it on Wednesday as well. How about Sony picking Remedy up? There's so many clues out there. If they give any more clues, we might as well just see Sam Lake having dinner at Yoshida's house. What's going on? I mean, this looks like it's a done deal, right, Crap?
Mooch, the Pony Walkman give it away?
Yeah.
That definitely was something, but
Well, you know what? I think that I think Sony had to do some kind of response to Microsoft buying those studios. You have competition, whether it's Stadia for the couple years they'll be in business, or Nintendo, whoever. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to have some kind of a little bit more than what they have, because they're probably looking at it long term too. Like, okay, what are our studios doing? Like a executive would at a TV station, right? Like they have shows to fill out time slots. Like Sony's got to have some kind of thing to fill out their slots for their exclusive games to come out.
I agree.
And they might have been missing some spaces. And then hey, Remedy comes up, Insomniac comes up. Those teams each have multiple teams. You can get out, multiple games. Look at it, like Insomniac was probably the biggest one. Like I'm so jealous as an Xbox fan that Sony got that team. You know what I mean? Like I really wanted that team. Remedy as well. I was like, why didn't they buy Remedy? Because nobody believes Microsoft wants to do single player games.
Even in the running for that.
No. If you listen to Colin Moriarty's podcast, he says that Microsoft did try to buy out Insomniac
a couple times, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the thing was they just weren't on board with what Microsoft might even offer them more money at one point. Yeah. So that's the interesting thing right there. And Remedy, it seems like they left Microsoft. It's not a good friendship there anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
I heard they have a bad taste in their mouth.
That's why people were saying, "Oh, you know what? I'll play Control and Game Pass." I'm like, not that one. I don't think that one's going to Game Pass.
I don't think so either. Not only that, but I also think. Remember 505 picked up the publishing and stuff for that game for like $8 million or something.
Yes.
That's incredibly cheap.
Yeah,
that is incredibly cheap, right? It's a AAA game.
Yeah.
So that tells you that right there that Remedy would have rather done that than do another exclusive for Microsoft. Microsoft gave back the Alan Wake publishing rights, which means probably they wanted it back in order to be bought by Sony. Sony would be smart to announce that buyout at XO or right around that time to kind of get all eyes back on them, because I feel like they're very good at that. Look at what happened at Gamescom. We saw a really killer Gears of War 5 thing, and then Sony's like, hey, by the way, tweet, we just bought Insomniac.
Yeah.
Like that's how they do. They are always like 2 steps ahead of Microsoft. That's why I found that thing where Matt Booty was like, Phil Spencer's a chess player. He's 5 steps ahead, and I just laughed when I read that, because Phil's playing Chutes and Ladders, and Sony's playing chess. Let's just be real. You know what I mean? Like Phil's like, whoops. You know what I mean? Oops, I rolled it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Phil, goofy ass Phil. Like I don't. That's just how it is, and So that's how I look at it. It would be very smart to announce that at XO because people are expecting Microsoft to announce more studio buyouts. But how can they after Sony announced, Insomniac and possibly Remedy? Like, what are they? Hey, we just bought Big Flow Records. You know what I mean? It's like there's nobody left. Who's left?
Well, okay. So what do you guys think? So at XO 19, are we going to see any big reveal of them picking up? There's so many conflicting reports. Is Microsoft still acquiring studios or are they not? They're content. It was like an article came out and then Aaron Greenberg, he did contradict it and say, wait, that's not what I said. But he didn't quite come back and say we're going to be buying a bunch of studios either. Maybe they're on pause.
I didn't say it quite like that.
Right, quite like that.
What he said
like
was that that's not what he said. He just said they feel comfortable with what they have right now. I don't know how comfortable I feel with that statement. That but
right,
that's what he said. That they're comfortable in the place they are right now with their exclusives. Mm-hmm. But buying somebody up might not be off the table.
Well, think about it, man. We got Bleeding Edge coming up after Gears. That's gonna be a banger. No need to go out and buy some more indies and AA. I mean, they got 15 studios.
Hey, Double Fine just released a game exclusive against Xbox, right? Like on everything but
what game
Xbox,
is that crap?
So I forget what the hell it's called. Some kind of game. No, Rad. I don't know if that's on Xbox, but I know it's on PlayStation.
It's on PlayStation, Switch, and everything, but it's not on.
Yeah, it's not on Xbox. Yeah, I'm like that's ridiculous to me. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, when we see this stuff on Twitter, right? When you see that stuff on Twitter, it's so hilarious because what they're saying, the stuff that's coming out of their mouths are contradicting to the actions that they're taking. Like, come on, man. How do you release a game on PC and PlayStation and Switch, but it's not on Xbox? You're the company. I don't care what deals you have in place prior. It doesn't matter. You own the company. It's your say-so. Your stuff should go on my platform. I'm out here to sell these consoles. I'm out here to sell games.
Word up.
Well, that's what we were saying on Wednesday, and I think it's something we should bring up again. It's easy. Everyone makes jokes on all shows and on Twitter. People are like, just show up with a checkbook. Just buy them. It doesn't really work that way. Even when you are one of the richest companies in the world, you have to have. You have to be able to.
You have stated.
You have to want to be bought.
You have to be able. No, Xbot, I haven't. No, because I've done deals in my life. I don't. You just walk in with a checkbook and be like, I'm buying everyone in here. What? Sit down or get out. Like, it's not. That's my point being is that it's more along the lines of who can get a deal done. And one of the things everyone's got to take and sit back and understand for a second is Insomniac Games was at their highest stock value, period. And Sony had the guys to go in there, or the crew to go in there and get the deal done. Microsoft, rumored to go out there when Insomniac was only making Sunset Overdrive. There was no talk of Spider-Man, none of this hype that we all know now, and couldn't get the deal done. And they had the largest checkbook out of any of these companies that are in the business right now. So it's not just about the checkbook. It's about the repertoire. It's about the system. It's about the leadership. And it's about the future. And that's the one thing here. And I understand that right now, today's one of those days it's rough to have a conversation like this because with all the Gears hype, everyone's like, well, look, clearly, because Gears is going to be great, everything's going to be fine. Well, okay, that's fine. If that's the stance you want to take, that's fine. Because right now, everybody's riding on sunshine because Gears does look phenomenal. But that doesn't mean that 343 is going to show up. It doesn't mean that people are like, oh, look at that. Compulsion Games, because they had a release out that Compulsion Games was looking for some sort of art director or something for a quote-unquote AAA game. So
Ninja Theory, yeah.
Right? And it's like, this was Compulsion, actually, that had the ad out for the individual. My point being is that just because they have the ad out and they're saying they're going to do a AAA game, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a great AAA game. So I mean, things still have to be proven, and a lot of people will be like, well, who cares? It's going to Game Pass. I got it for 99 cents and a Big Mac. Doesn't make a difference. It's like,
you don't even got to pay a Big Mac for it, man.
You don't. It's a buck. Now it's $1.99. It went up. But I mean.
Okay. But to your point, Mooch, your point, right? We all know Game Pass is great, right? It's great.
Absolutely. It's the greatest value in gaming, period.
Value.
Period.
It's a godsend.
It's not debatable.
This thing, the mindset of a lot of people, do you think it lowers the value to them in their minds that I bought, I got.
It does a little, Jay. For me. I can't speak for everybody. For me,
I got a great game, Gears 5, but guess what? I only played $1. Like, how much credit do you really get for that? Like, everybody's going to be on this game because it only cost them $1, $2 to $9 to play the game. That's
Right.
a big difference than if you go out and spend. Show me how many $60. How much was people willing to pay for this experience? I'm glad I don't have to spend $60 or more for it, but I'm just saying, in the consensus and the mindset of the gamers that have been spending $60 and $50 for games, for full-fledged titles forever since the beginning of time, do you think that this decreases?
Jay, normally if it was a brand new IP, I can see where you're coming from there. But let's be honest, even people who never touched an Xbox controller know the name Gears. So right there, the quality is in the name. So I think that actually gives quality to the Game Pass subscription rather than taking away the kind of like the quality of the Gears game itself. To be really honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm just asking. Do you think?
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of gamers, right? They think like that. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I think like that. When I go into GameStop and I see a game I'm not sure of, I never really heard of the name of it. Then I look at the price tag. It's $29, $99. I'm like,
Well, like I said, if it was a brand new IP, like I would be right there with you. But with it being Gears, and if you look how they're setting it up, yes, next year is Halo and stuff like that. But with that being said, Gears will add even more kind of like credibility to Game Pass. Saw, Devil May Cry made a splash when it was on Game Pass as well. I don't think people saw that as, a less valuable game because, they had an offer for $1 to upgrade at some point in time to get the Game Pass subscription. But at the end of the day, it gave credibility and it gave more value to the Game Pass subscription. I think that's what Gears is going to do. And then moving forward, when you get, you're releasing new hardware, you say, first party day and date, Halo is going to be in Game Pass day and date. You don't have to spend the $60. That even further adds value to that subscription.
The value comes really ultimately to me. The value comes with after Gears comes out. How long will I have to wait to keep my subscription? How long do I have to wait before I get another title like that will satisfy me? Or will it be like, okay, I played Gears, right? I spent my $1, I played Gears,
Jay,
I beat it in a couple of weeks, and then after that, I forget about the subscription and I move on to something else. And then a year later, when they release Halo Infinite, then I go and spend another $1. You see what I'm saying?
Jay, real quick, Dirk Griggity. Shout out to Dirk Griggity who's in the chat. He says, Jay, you're full of it. I had to say that right. Perfect timing for Dirk to get in there. That was awesome.
Man, Dirk, what's going on, bro?
Love it. But no, I mean, what do you think about that, Xbox? Because Jay did bring up a good point. He's saying this is, again, it goes with what I'm saying too. This is the wrong time to kind of talk about it because there's a lot of hype right now. But in all honesty, like after Gears, we do have an extended drought.
Generally,
do we go back to 50s and 60s?
Well, check this out. Like I'm trying to answer, brother. I'm trying to answer. All right. Now we know Microsoft and Xbox's track record with like the final year before going into new hardware as well. So we got Gears coming out, and that's awesome. I remember 360. I believe it was Halo 4, and that might have been over a year before. It was like a year or two before the end of the 360 generation, if I remember correctly. And one of the biggest complaints about the 360 towards the end of the generation was that Xbox was relying on multiplats. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a huge kind of like people were complaining about that, but that's something that they traditionally do as well.
But they've been relying on multiplats this whole generation. That's part.
I got you. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know what, they're going to do a complete 180 on what they're going to offer people the final generation either, when that's pretty much what they did with the OG Xbox. I believe one of the final games that came out on that people really highly regarded was Doom 3, which was, it did go to the system. It was also on PC. But basically, the PlayStation that was out in that time really couldn't run it that way. All right,
Yeah.
so it came out on Xbox and it came out on PC, and people were kind of like clamoring about that game, saying how it looks next generation, but it was it wasn't a first party exclusive. So I wouldn't go out there and be like, you know what, they're gonna come out with all these bangers. We see like the smaller arcade titles that are gonna be coming out as well. But it's good. It's really going to be gearing up for holiday of 2020, and with us being like on the more hardcore gamer side of things, and us having podcasts and doing YouTube, a lot of it's going to revolve around the new hardware and the information coming out. That's going to be a big thing. I believe with everybody on this panel, kind of like moving forward, like as soon as they start giving more and more information about the new hardware, we're going to be all over that.
Well, let me chime in here real quick too, because another thing a lot of people forget about Game Pass, we're so focused on getting those new games in there that are coming out day and date. There's a lot of games that are coming out that have been released like fairly recently, like Monster Hunter World, games like that. I personally was never interested.
Cry 5.
Yeah, the Devil May Cry, stuff like that. Those games come out as well in Game Pass, and those may be games that you've never even decided that you wanted to play. I think where it kind of hits some of us that are on the podcast is like, we're hardcore gamers. We pretty much buy everything for the most part. So it doesn't really benefit us because we've already got the game. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people out there who don't buy these games that are like, okay, this game's coming in Game Pass in like 3 or 4 months. You know, like Devil May Cry, you know, games like that. Like, I didn't pick that game up, but I'm gonna play it now because it's in Game Pass.
Let me ask you this though. I want to piggyback off that point, Pred, because it was something that Jay asked a little while ago, and I don't blame him. It kind of transpired into a different question, but he said, "Do you feel because some of these games go into Game Pass, it devalues them?" Now, from someone like myself in the hardcore category, that you guys we all buy games and we all like play them all. Like, it was a big deal to go out. We talk about it all the time, right? You go to the midnight release. That's gone, by the way, the dodo bird. That's gone. So there's no more midnight releases, none of that. Then it became midnight download. Then it came to I'm getting it. Now it's like for 99 cents, everyone's playing it. Does it kind of devalue? I mean, let me go to Enrique. Enrique, hearing that situation, and I like the way Jay said it. Like, that really does. Like, to me personally, like Gears 5 is coming out. Like, it used to have that 6. Like, let me put it this way: if Mercedes-Benz, okay, I don't care if we're talking about the C, the E, or the S. If any of those all of a sudden became $15,000 cars, is there still the hype behind the Benz, or does someone else take their spot? You know what I mean? Like, is it devalued a little because it's dropped in cost?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because the entertainment value is still there. That's not changing, and you know, and I think we may have talked about this last week too. I think from a I think obviously for us, we're the beneficiaries of Game Pass, and it gives us tremendous value. But I don't think because you're still going to get the same game experience at the end of the day. And if you get a game content, like I think Rod said the challenge of Gears 5 was trying to figure out people want harmonica.
That damn harmonica. Crap, you can't do harmonica while you're on the road, right?
I don't have my harmonica with me right now.
All right, Phil Pyromancer, because you gave such a great request, I guess on M&C I'll have to deal with it then.
Yeah, I'll harmonica the shit out of everybody on M&C.
Shout out to Phil Pyromancer. Thank you so much.
If anything, it's more of a psychological thing. Like,
I was about to say that, Luca. Let me finish my point real quick. So I think, like I was about to say, it's a psychological thing, but I think at the end of the day, like Rod Ferguson said this, the challenge they had with Gears 5 is they know that it's $1. How do we keep those people engaged in our game? Because it's easy for them to say, you know what, I'm not feeling it, and I only paid $1, I'm going to walk away, as opposed to, hey, I paid $60, I'm going to tough it out a little bit because I want to get my money's worth. So that's the challenge I think that Game Pass presents to developers. But I think with a game potentially like Gears of War, if it's good, if it's 15, 20 hours with the campaign, and then you add multiplayer, values the game, I think it adds tremendous value to the consumer.
Interesting. I mean,
absolutely, the consumer benefits, yes, but it does devalue the game because any average person that finds out that they can pay $9.99, right? I'm gonna not use the 99-cent thing here. Play the true $9.99, which is ultimately where they want it, right?
You can appreciate it, Xbox, but you paid 99 cents. Go ahead.
Yeah, true. Me too. For the next 29 years.
Me too.
So I'm good. But, you know, It is. I'm not gonna go pay $65 for it. I'm not gonna buy it for $65.
Let me ask you guys, Knox. Let me ask you a question, Knox. So let's say Gears 4, right? But not Gears 4 because that was probably a bad example too. But any Gears game or any other game before what do you call it there? Game Pass came out, you'd go buy it for $60, and if you didn't like it after a couple of days, yeah, you kind of got screwed on the trade-in, right? No doubt about it. But you go back and you'd get what, maybe $24 if it was a couple days later, or $17, anywhere from $17 to $28 depending on the title, right, Jay? So my point being is now I'm wondering. I'm curious. I can't say I know the answer. I don't. But if you were to go in next Friday, or you wouldn't be able to, yes, you could, and get the game, right? You'd have to buy the Ultimate Edition. And you bought the $60 edition, though, just for talk's sake. What would you get now that it's so, like, saturated out through the market on the Xbox platform? What do you guys think about that? Right. It'd be better for you to use it as a coaster, right?
Yeah. Yep. Better keep it. You're better off keeping it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the devalue, I think, that the conversation comes. It doesn't mean the game is bad. It absolutely doesn't mean that.
It kind of has nothing to do with the game, right?
It has to do with the pricing of the game,
model.
and
yeah,
and that's interesting.
I mean,
crap, it will devalue it.
It does. Like, and I mean, I think that
they could easily remedy that, and they will eventually. I really think they're just doing this now, this whole day and date shit, to entice us to continue to be on there, because that's actually what is giving that illusion of value to Game Pass, right? But eventually, they're gonna have to stop that and be like, 3 months in, it'll be on Game Pass or something to that effect.
I'm going to tell you that's going to
do that, bro.
That's going to be a big problem. They're not going
to do that.
I agree with Bot. They're not going to do it because they are now selling you on this Netflix for gaming style thing.
Then they'll raise the price
later. They can't go back on it because people are just going to fall off.
Well, no, you got Xcloud
coming,
which I feel is going to be attached to Game Pass as well.
Uh-oh.
So when it comes down to it, you're talking about those 2 billion gamers.
Xbox just opened up the Stadia. The Stadia doors just opened.
Close it.
Uh-oh.
Would you
watch
ship
out?
That?
That was Xbox's fault.
But no, with that in terms, they're not going to raise the price. They are going to focus. They're going to stay day and date, because at the end of the day, they're going to couple Game Pass with Xcloud. And, for people who do want to play games on, their tablet or their phone or anything, they're going to have their library of Game Pass games right there at their disposal. And that's what they're going to do.
Let me ask Luca, because I have not gotten Luca's 2 cents on this, and I really want to hear her opinion. Luca, where are you on Xcloud, and where are you on Stadia as a whole, streaming as an option? It's definitely not going to take the place of your console, or even maybe your Switch, your future Switch. But is it something that you will use or try at some point in time?
Maybe I'll try it in like 10 plus years. As it stands right now, I don't have any interest in it, but I don't mind that it's there. It's just another option for people who are actually interested in it, I guess. Like, I don't care about Stadia, dude, or Xcloud or any of that stuff.
Do you travel a lot though, Luca?
I don't.
You do. You're out though. You're out a lot. I mean,
well, when I'm out, I'm out.
You're out,
doing
right?
Stuff.
She's not walking around with
gaming.
That's true.
Switch
in the street. Yeah.
No, she's right. She's right. But I mean, there's a lot of times where, like, especially when you got young kids, you go to the park. The kids are at the park. You're hanging out. It's like that would be a cool opportunity to be able to game. All they're doing is just hanging out like 8 feet in front of you, and they're not doing anything. And after you do that for like 4 years, you're like, this is kind of a neat little idea. I think between myself personally, that's not my world. My world's more for travel, for work. But my point is that, like, I like the idea now, Luca, that, like, let's say, okay, with Destiny, right? You are working, by the way, everyone needs to know this. Luca is bringing me and Enrique, like, right up through, right?
Yes.
She gave us Destiny 2 for Dummies. She's like, I wrote it, read it. And she's like, you better read this shit. And I'm like, okay. So, like, we're doing that, right? So when we get to a certain point and I go, okay, she's going to say, we are going to do strikes, or there's this coming up, or this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going next week. I'm on travel. If I can actually transfer that save data over to Stadia or Xcloud, whatever it may be at the time, go on the road, still keep up. No, I can't do the raids with them or whatever if they're not on the platform of my choice, but I can do that work and then come back and still be where I left off. My power level, my light level, whatever they want to call it nowadays, is the same. That's a big deal. And for me, Luca, you said this yourself, and I want your take on this. You may be going to the Switch right now for Fire Emblem, but, like, the one thing that you are not a fan of Switch for, and neither am I really, like, I don't really want to play Mario Odyssey on the road. That's not my gig. That's not what I like to do. But I wouldn't mind playing Destiny 2 on Stadia on the road, that's kind of intriguing, right? Or Borderlands 3. Now I can play Borderlands 3 on the road. Like, that's pretty cool.
I can definitely see the benefits for people who do travel a lot, like for work or who have kids. But me personally, like, I commute to work by driving. And when I do go out, I'm going out to actually get my errands done. So I'm not like thinking about gaming when I'm out. But I can definitely see the benefits for people who do travel for work or who go out. And I mean, I've never seen a Switch like out in the wild.
In the wild?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you. I said this, and people jumped on me. I'm telling you.
You go to but crap, I don't see it when I go to the supermarket, but I see it when I go to the airport.
And I've never seen somebody carry a fucking controller with them and hook it up to their phone.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, I'm with crap until in the past 12 months, I've done a lot of travel for work, and I gotta tell you, I can't believe the amount of Switches I see in the airport. It's not funny. It's unbelievable. And
I used to commute. I live outside DC. I used to commute to DC on the subway, and you would see tons of people with Switches.
Yes. Like when you're on that travel, like on the go period, and it's amazing because now gaming, people make the stigma, but it's bullshit. Like everybody games now. I don't care if they game Candy Crush or they're gaming something like The Witcher 3. I don't care what you game. People are gaming now, and that's why this is such a big deal. That's why so many people tune into all these shows. No matter how big or how small, it doesn't matter. They tune in because there is such a market for it. Everyone's kind of found their niche in gaming, and that's great. Especially all of us that have been doing it since we were young, and they were like, back in the day,
it was kind of weird background noise, background music playing.
I don't hear that.
It's like, I
don't hear. Yo, crap! That's that hurricane. That's that hurricane.
Crap! Mistakenly put the chips down and grabbed into the magic mushrooms. Listen,
I guess I don't know what the hell that is.
Anybody else here? Jerry Garcia, right in my ears? No. Oh, all right. But like, my point being is like, I think that's awesome crap. I have no idea. I don't hear it, but that's funny nonetheless.
Somebody's playing some bongos or something.
I almost want to start playing music in the background.
Oh crap! You probably have
something.
Yeah, you have another app running. You have another app running.
Phone.
Yeah.
I just checked, man. I don't got. Oh, no. Hold on. Yep. Wait, no.
This
This is great. This comedy break is brought to you by crap. No, but I think that the thing
this is epic.
The thing I got to bring up to Luca. One last question is, Luca, do you think that like people that say Stadia is DOA, it's dead on arrival, right? But then they turn around in the same sentence and they're like, but I can't wait for Xcloud. Like. It's like, wait,
Hypocrites.
Yeah, I'm like, how can you say one is great? Like, there's going to be competition in the space. Like, one guy didn't make pizza 200 years ago, and he's like, no one else can do it. Like, it's like, of course there's going to be somebody else that's going to do it. So if Xcloud is an obvious or maybe not obvious success, wouldn't we think that Google, with all the money they have and all the infrastructure and servers they have, that they could compete in the space?
Yeah, I think
but why start over with Google?
Go ahead, buddy.
The point. Oh, my bad, Luca. But why start over with Google? That's the whole point. That's what makes xCloud more appealing. You're already there. You're already invested. You know what I mean?
But Knox, you have Borderlands 3 coming out, okay, in 2 weeks. There is no investment there. I don't own Borderlands 3 on Xbox. Like everything starts now. Streaming's new. Like it's not necessarily. I get that Xbox has a leg up. They do have a leg up. But it doesn't mean that they have a leg up, nobody can compete with them? Don't fuck with them. They got a leg up.
No, but I'm just saying that's what will make somebody that's already invested into Xbox just wait. That's definitely a viable option. If you can't wait it out,
right.
You really want to jump on board, well, yeah, Stadia is going to be dropping first, so you might check that out. It's totally up to you, but I'm just saying that's why I'm willing to wait.
Go ahead, Enrique.
After Luca. Go ahead, Luca.
Oh, Luca. Luca.
No, it was actually me.
Well, Luca got cut off by Knox.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes. Go ahead, Luca.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that I think it's too soon to tell to say that something is dead on arrival or not. We have to wait to see what they're actually doing when it comes out and how the quality is. But I can see where you're coming from when you're like, well, people are excited for xCloud, but they're down dressing this. Doesn't make any sense since they're essentially going to be pretty much the same in theory. So I don't know. I would just wait for it to actually come out before
that's good advice.
one way or another.
That's good advice. I completely agree.
We don't know the price point. We don't know.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
We don't know exactly how they're gonna price xCloud or anything like that. One of the biggest things that people complained about with Stadia was that you're gonna pay $60 for a game that you're not even gonna download, so it's not really a digital thing, but you're just gonna stream. That was the biggest complaint when it came to Stadia.
Yep.
All right, and we don't know what xCloud is going to do. We can guess, oh, they're going to do the same thing, or we can guess, oh, they're going to do something totally different. Like I said, I think they're going to link Game Pass with xCloud.
Yeah, they're tying it into Game Pass, absolutely.
So that library is going to be with, but it's also, if you have an Xbox, you're going to be downloading those games as well.
Why wouldn't they have mentioned that, though, guys? I don't necessarily agree with that they're tied. They already have PC and console Game Pass. That's a dedicated service for that, and that alone.
To get that $2 billion,
and xCloud was going to spread it even wider. That's all that.
It doesn't
xCloud
fit into that model,
Game
though.
Pass yeah, of course it does, bro.
I don't think so.
You're going to have that option.
Why didn't they mention it at E3?
I don't, because it's not ready yet. More than
not ready yet. Yeah, it's not. I mean, you remember
it's not ready yet.
When Phil in that interview said, "Would you play it like that?" You know, I mean, it's not ready yet. Like what Xbox says, like the big differentiator between Stadia and
xCloud.
The xCloud, yeah, thank you, is that you have potentially Game Pass where it is more like a Netflix service, and I think like I was really excited for Stadia because I thought it was gonna be like a Netflix service.
No,
what it was, I was kind of like, okay.
See, I like that it's not. I like that it's not. Enrique, listen, hear me out. We said it the whole first hour of the show. Like, there's parts of Game Pass that are absolutely amazing. And there's parts of it where it's like, go through Game Pass and look at them. And you're like, wow, there's like 12 games out of the 200 that you're like, wow, I can't believe Xbox locked these down. And then you look at the other 188 and you're like, eh.
You got 2K16 and, a bunch of stuff that
360 games. It's like,
yeah.
Xbox games.
Again, Game Pass is for those 2 or 3 games that you missed out on a couple of years ago that you might decide to give it a try, and the in the new first party games.
You see people right now with Netflix, while there's nothing hot right now on Netflix, everyone's like, oh, Mooch, you got to watch this new show. I'm like, what is it? It's like Jimmy Went Skipping. I'm like, Jimmy Went Skipping?
Good show, Mooch.
Oh, it's great.
Don't sleep on it.
You got to watch it. They started with 5 episodes. They got like 10 coming out. And like everybody goes nuts with like that's the same thing with this streaming shit, right? When Netflix first came out, all they had was What About Bob? Okay? Yep. And like don't get me wrong, there's some real big bangers that are in Game Pass. Me and Jay said it. I think Crap said it. I know Lucas said it. I know Xbot has definitely said it. It's a great value. Nobody can argue 200 games for 99 cents. Come on. That's crazy to even think. And it includes new games also on the PC if you have a rig. But, I mean, ultimately, I like the fact that Google's saying, you have a choice. We have something like that for $9.99, and you get these games you can play anytime, your library. Or, don't want that? That's fine. For free, just sign up and make an account, and then you buy your games, and it's tied to your account, and play it wherever the hell you are. And when Phil says it, play your games anywhere, with anybody, at any time. It's a glorious applause.
But pay for a subscription and then buy your games.
That's what you're doing on Xbox. Is Borderlands 3 free for people on Xbox?
But hold on. We don't know what xCloud is going to do yet. That's the big question mark when it comes to their pricing. That's
I think they've been pretty
right
clear.
Now we can't. No, they haven't.
Not on pricing. Not on pricing. No.
I don't like a streaming only service. It just I don't see it. You can't there's nothing to down. There's no console. I thought a console was going side by side with this thing. It's not. To me, there's just no reason to get Stadia right now.
Knox, literally the last 15 movies I've bought are digital downloads on Xbox Game Store. You know what I own? Jack and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I got my.
All right, you're leasing. We all know you're.
No,
leasing.
It says I bought it, but bullshit, right? Like my point is, that's the air. That's what we live in. That's what we're doing right now.
Download it to your machine and have it run. You know what I'm saying? You can download it. You keep it there. You save that.
More people downloaded Eminem's last CD music. What is it there? His album than they did go out and buy the disc. Like, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, nobody, when people say that, it boggles my mind. Everyone's like, Mooch, you buy that game on Google Stadia, you don't own anything. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'm going to go digitally buy this game on Microsoft Store. What? I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying.
You can still play those games offline.
You can download those games. Yeah,
hold on, Mooch. The thing is, though, you said pay a subscription and then buy the game. That's what people are upset about.
You don't have to pay the subscription. That's up to you if you want the library they're providing you.
Yeah, and what's their library? Like 3 games right now.
It's like 30 games. But like the point of the matter, whether you like them or not, that's irrelevant.
So
that's the same thing.
Well, but see, and that's another.
You don't have to do that.
The same games that you kind of complain about, the smaller games in Game Pass, they're gonna be small ass games in Stadia as well, and there's only gonna be 30 as opposed to the over 100.
But again, everybody and everyone that knows anybody is like, hold on, Mooch. Game Pass is the most unbelievable value ever. When you just said it yourself, a lot of them are little games that no one really cares about.
I said the little games that you complain about, but what we're looking at 30 games for a subscription fee, right? That you can play. Or over 100 over here, including games like Devil May Cry for a subscription. And what Knox said, you can also download those games on something.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what's so wait. You defended Xbox not having their pay scale out yet, right? Here's where I'm going to defend Google. They're not out yet long enough. They haven't even started yet. So my point being is they may get a Devil. Wait.
Huge wallets, man.
Well, give me a second to finish my explanation. What I'm trying to say to you is next year, they may get a Devil May Cry 5. They might throw Borderlands 3 into that $9.99 subscription base. They're just getting started. What you're saying is you're sitting there going, Mooch, take it easy. We don't know what's going on with Xcloud's actual pricing.
Brother,
but you don't know what's going to happen. You have to give them time to start the service.
Be fair. When Game Pass first came out, it was heavily criticized for the library.
Yeah, because they had What About Bob and they had a multi-crap production.
So guess what? Your Stadia has to go through the same
right
at that point in time.
But you're calling it dead, and it hasn't started yet. But you gave Game Pass 2 years to get to where it is.
Brother, I didn't call it dead. All right?
You called it barely breathing. I mean, whatever,
What I'm saying is that when you're trying to compare
hungover, drunk,
I'm saying that you're trying to compare the two, and one of the biggest issues that a lot of people have with Stadia is the price point and how they are pricing things out. With Xcloud, we don't know that.
Well,
we don't know that.
Go ahead, Jay.
Technically, right? Google Stadia is free. It costs you nothing. What you're paying for are your games. They're not,
And we do that now.
We do that now, right? So if you do want to have that capability while you're traveling, while you're going to and fro and stuff like that,
he said
you take your Chrome stick with you, whatever, your Fire Stick or whatever they're going to give you with it, plug it into your TV, and you can play all the games that you intend.
Jay, you know what, Jay? I'm not selling people. I want to let that.
Premise.
I'm not selling people, but I'm defending it in the same retrospect that people are defending XCloud.
Exactly. So that's the premise. Now, what Google Stadia does that may make it even more appealing is if they give you the free games if you decide to subscribe for the $9 a month package, same cost as Game Pass.
It's Xbox Live. It's Xbox Live.
Same thing as Xbox Live, right? So here's the thing about it: we pay $60 a year for Xbox Live. We pay $10 a month for Game Pass, and then EA Access and all these other fees. This is just another equation. This is another it's a platform. They say, look, if you look on our list of games, if you want to buy Guilt, which is a exclusive, or Orcs Must Die, that's an exclusive, or Baldur's Gate 3, which is an exclusive, right? They got exclusive that they're building up on their portfolio. If you want to buy these games, you can buy them. They're yours. You can play them. You don't pay us anything. You just buy the game, and then you can play it at 1080p streaming any and everywhere. Now, if you want to play it at 4K HDR, surround sound and stuff like that, that's part of your $9 package fee. And then on top of that, we're going to give you some free games to go with that,
right?
As the money. You get the full Destiny DLC, cross-play, yada, 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 cross progression and all that stuff.
Here's my thing, Jay. Either XCloud and Stadia survive, or they both go down. I don't think one really has the leg up. I mean, Xbox has a bit of it because of your library does go with you. But the concerning part with Xbox, okay, and this may be the same thing that they kind of fell into a problem with Sony in 2013, and this is yet to be seen, is it looks like also if you were to take, I'm totally making this up. So roll with me here, guys. If you have Borderlands 3 coming out, and let's just say Xcloud launched this fall too, I would think that Borderlands 3 might look better on Google Stadia than Xcloud, because Xcloud is using a backup system of Xbox One S's, and Google Stadia is using more in the way of a PC setup background. And again, I don't have all the logistics in front of me. I don't have the documentation in front of me, but that's clearly been stated by both companies. So if you have an Xbox One S running your game in the background on Xcloud, of course that's also going to be a cheaper. That I may have talked myself into thinking that now Xcloud may be a cheaper service if Google Stadia is putting out a better product as far as what they got in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's yet to be seen.
Yeah, and then the other capabilities, right, that Google Stadia have is they have supposedly this service where if you're playing a game, it's instantaneous, so there's no loading or anything like that. That's one of the benefits. But also, if you have people watching your stream, they can join you. You can have what else they say? Supposedly they're coming out with a new reinventive Google Hangouts. So you can do your podcasting and stuff like that while you game.
That'd be cool.
A lot of stuff, right? This is first generation stuff. This first trial that they're coming out with in November for Google Stadia, that's not even the full launch. That's just a kind of like a soft launch. But I'm pretty sure with Google's deep pockets, with access to their servers, which are more than anybody else out there besides maybe Amazon, this may work for them, or it may die
absolutely
a big death.
It could definitely die, but I'm saying if it dies, though, it's the concept that dies, not just Google, because Google's got the technology, so it's the concept that would die. And if the concept dies, Xcloud won't hold on much longer either.
Yeah.
Well, see, the difference is that with Xcloud, it's just that it can be turned. What Microsoft can do with Xcloud is turn it into just an option for their Xbox platform, which is ultimately what they want to get everywhere, this whole thing. So, always having the capability to be able to download your information that you're paying for, right? That you don't own, right, Mooch?
Yeah.
Your PC, your PC or to your Xbox.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're on the road and you're paid into their Game Pass / Xcloud service, you can stream your games to your PC, whatever that you already own and you already bought. But your laptop or something like that. Your laptop.
You just hit the hammer on the nail, right? That you're subscribed to. That means
you're already subscribed, is what I'm saying.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to subscribe.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Do I want another a la carte service? That's what I'm saying. Why do that with Stadia? Now I got to do it for both. I'm already paying for Xbox, right? I'm already paying for Xbox Live and Game Pass Ultimate and all that, which it's going to be using it.
Listen, like I've been saying, next generation, it's all going to go down to content. Whoever has the best content, that's where people are going to go.
That's right.
This generation, it started off with the power, then it turned into the content. Whoever had the best games, whoever had the best quality, the better quality of game. That's why Nintendo and Sony's.
And brother, why did it flip the content?
Huh?
Why did it flip the content?
Because even Microsoft kind of said that there was a video that they had put out last generation, they basically, when they were talking about Xbox, they basically gave you the formula. They said in any generation of console, the first 2 years, it's about the power, it's about the hardware. After that, it's strictly about the software. You can't sell somebody about the power on the hardware at the end of a generation or the middle of a generation. They've already decided whether it was powerful or not for them in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the games to maintain and keep you, hooked to that. And that's been since the beginning.
I've been saying this for a while, and I'm going to say it again.
The power narrative didn't switch until the Xbox One X.
No, I get your point, right?
That's true, Xbox.
A lot of guys are salty about this generation, right? They're salty because they got teased about the hardware. But you got to realize, right? Not only was the Xbox weaker, but they charge you $100 more. You can't take one without taking the other. There was a lot of reasons the Xbox.
But that wasn't
in the first couple of years.
Narrative.
Yeah, you got teased
for years.
Because it cost
it was
more.
All about
mandatory connect, and the games weren't of proper quality. It was a lot of things. You just can't take one without taking the rest of it. Speak on all of it.
Brother. Even when it came down to the multiplats, people were people were counting P's and stuff like
Listen,
that.
even right now in 2019, bot, Xbox has the worst version of the multiplats. 99% of Xbox players play the inferior version of multiplayer.
I knew you were gonna
I'm
run
just telling
right
you,
back
that's
down
just
to
a
the
fact.
base Xbox
I know
One.
a lot of people would like to
But
think
guess
that
what?
90%
They
of the
also
people
have
on
the
Xbox, they
option
don't.
with the Xbox platform to play the best version.
Why
of
are
the-
we talking about this?
I have no
again?
idea.
I don't know how this came up
Like,
either,
what is
Luca.
happening?
Hey,
I feel like I'm in a
was talking about
time
Google
warp.
Stadia and this.
What is going on?
I was going to say this.
He brought up
Just-
how it was about power, and then it switched over.
No,
to
I
content.
told you it's about content. I said it's
6
about
years
No,
later
you
content.
said
now.
it was
When-
about
when I
content.
said it's about content, you went back to the hardware. You thought back about 2013 and those feelings. And I get it. There's a lot of guys that they won't let go of 2013. It's 2019. What have you done for me lately? That's all that matters.
I'm talking about the whole
You
generation.
can't.
I'm
You
not
can't.
stuck
You
in
listen, guys.
2013, brother.
Let's be honest. We
I'm not stuck in
cannot make up
2015,
for
brother.
lost time. Those days are over. That L was handed out. There's no
It's done.
redeeming. It's about going forward. Where do we go from today?
And Jay,
forward?
going forward with this conversation real quick, I've been saying it. I want to make this very clear. I really do think it is going to be a content war as we move forward. And with that being said, Google not having to waste the R&D money like Microsoft and Sony are, okay, on a console, they're not going to have that. They've got that extra 100 million, 50 million cash to go out there and grab. They're going to play dirty next year. You wait and see. I think they're going to have an exclusive game to their service, even if it's timed. It doesn't matter. It'll do it. It'll do the damage. And they're going to go out there and they're going to have a game that everyone covets. And I joke, like I say, like a Borderlands 3, and I understand Xbox, that's not your bag. But I mean, Borderlands 3 is going to sell like gangbusters in a couple of weeks. They're going to take a game like that. They're going to pay $100 million, and they're going to go get it.
A lot of people aren't going to get it, or people aren't hyped for it. I'm actually happy for the people who like Borderlands and everything.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no, I
happy
hear
for
you.
guys,
But I was using
man.
that as
You
an
know what I'm saying?
example, Xbox. I'm just using that game as an example. I'm just saying, but the thing about it though is, at the end of the day, you're gonna have people that are going to clamor to go get that game on that particular service, not console. That service, and I think that, in all honesty, that's something that's what's gonna rope people in. And if that doesn't work, then I gotta be honest with you. Then I'll be the first to admit it. I'll be like, guys, this is what I preached to you before it came out. This is what I thought they were gonna do. Yeah. This is not what they did. They didn't back themselves up. They didn't go out there and buy any exclusive content. I got to be honest with you, Google's not going to make it much longer. Google needs to have a reason. And the Epic Game Store, if you go, Mooch, where do you even come up with this? The Epic Game Store took on, they took on Steam. And there's articles that were out 2 years ago that said nobody can stop the moving locomotive that is Steam. And guess what? Epic built a brick wall and smashed that train to pieces. And that's
With
my point. Exclusives.
They cut those deals and got those exclusive, and
bam.
The tears have been flowing in the street
ever since.
Oh my God. How could they? Oh, but when Steam had a monopoly, when they were getting
anything,
it wasn't a problem.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
It was a problem when Steam first came out. People bitched and complained about it.
Yep.
They did. Yep. That's right. I remember that.
Competition is good. Like everyone complained, competition is good until Epic came up and started buying up those deals and get exclusive, and then they're crying and screaming.
I don't even get that because the games play exactly the same.
It does, but think about it. People is just like the consoles, right? People love their ecosystem for whatever reason. It's, again, I put it like sports. You have your favorite football team, and that's who you root for. Sure, you can watch the game on, Direct TV, or you can watch it on Comcast, but people just kind of have their own preferred platforms, and that's where they want to play their games.
With that being said, guys, we have hit the 2 hour mark. I want to say thank you to everybody. I know Luke is probably like, I have Destiny 2 to play, and you're definitely keeping me from this, and I feel so bad. Luca, thank you for staying here tonight, too. I do appreciate that.
Oh, yes, of course.
Let me just go down.
We are rating.
Right? I will. Yeah, I know you guys are. That's why I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
I'm like over
Knox,
the 2 hour mark.
Mad Skills hit up the DM, brother. You might want to hit him back real quick.
Anybody else?
Right, cool.
Anybody else text you, Xbot, you want to mention on the podcast? Oh, listen, anyways, let me get the extras out.
It was
God,
easy, brother.
How come everybody does that on this show? Hey, hold on a second. Wait, Mooch, don't do the outros yet. The pizza guy's here. Right? Who cares? That being said, let me go in reverse order here. I'll start with J-Dubs. Jay, thanks for being here. Awesome first time on CrossFire. Definitely won't be your last time. Let people know where they can find you. You got a new and upcoming YouTube channel. Let people know about it.
Definitely, man. You guys can find me on Twitter, obviously at JDubCity16, keeping you guys laughing with the gifts and the memes. You know what I mean? You can also find me on YouTube at JDubCity, and I'll have Mooch to post that link.
Yes, sir. Will do. I appreciate that, and thanks for being on the show. And then I've got Noximus. Nox, yo, great input tonight, buddy. I appreciate it. I know that we're not going to be able to get you on all Fridays because your work schedule's shifting, but it's always an honor to have you here. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, Mooch, man. It was a blast, bro. There's some shit up here.
Always. It's Crossfire.
That's right. That's why you dig it. That's why
Yes,
you
sir.
love it. Pretty good, pretty neat, man. Yeah, man, right here in Knox We Trust, coming soon, man. That's it, man. Xbox Nations, of course, next podcast, of course. And yeah, man, my work schedule's kind of fucking shit up, but
Sorry, we'll work around it, man. We'll work around it.
yeah, thanks for having me, brother.
Always, man. And then I didn't get to give him a formal introduction, but I'm going to give him a great outro. My boy Predator, who is the man when it comes to first-person shooters. He knows what he's talking about. He games on everything. Pred, thanks for being here tonight. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, man. Finally, I haven't been on CrossFire, and it's been like almost
It's been a
2-3
minute.
months, man. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. But yo, Xbox Live Predator _H2OS, Twitter. Next podcast on Saturday. Friendster, MySpace, Classmates.com, High Five. Find me everywhere. Later.
I love Pred. He takes it so serious.
I'm
Love
done.
it, Pred. It's great.
I'm done with Fred.
And I've got my boy Enrique from Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Enrique, thanks for being here tonight, buddy. And to be honest with you, just lots of conversation, lots of great things. Let people know where they can find you this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, thanks again for having me on. Love the topics of the panel. Great show. You can find me on Twitter at BRAP_podcast, and you can find us on YouTube at the Basement Radio Arcade Podcast as well. So come check us out.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And then my girl, my New York, the Ashton Luca. And let me tell you something. I really should just have, if I could eat up all of Luca's literally Friday nights, I would take her every night on this because she knows how to have a discussion. Luca, it was the best Crossfire we've had in ages. Thanks to you, Luca.
That's
always
some high praise. I
it's
like
the
that.
truth, though. It's so great because, you know how to, have that great discussion. I love that. You love that. That's why we're both the Mooches. That being said, Luca, let everybody know where they can find you on YouTube and Twitter, please.
Yeah, so really great discussion. I had a lot of fun, boys. I even decided to stay past the Gears
Yes!
discussion, because I definitely was going to leave. I
You
definitely
were.
was going to leave.
She
but
told
then
me,
I
she
really
says, you
felt
got me
like-
for 40 minutes max. I'm out.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. You guys can find me on Twitter at the Ash and Luca, and I run a podcast called Scumcast, and it's a lot of fun. Just a lot of laughs. We like to have fun with it. So yeah.
I appreciate
everyone.
it, Luca. Thank you, and hopefully you'll be on very soon again. And then I've got my brethren, Xbot448, who has become literally my talking. I don't know what it is, Xbot. Me and you go back and forth. We used to for 4 solid years, and now all of a sudden we've got the greatest banter of all time. Xbot, it's awesome to have you here. I'm very glad that you guys made the move. I know it's strenuous, but you made the right
by the
decision,
beach,
man.
brother.
By the beach. But you did the right
Yeah.
thing, man. You did the right thing. Say what's up to Mel for me, and let everybody know where they can find you this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say, Mooch, it's a natural evolution of our friendship now.
That's right.
And it's what it's come down to. We've gotten so comfortable with each other that we are willing to go back and forth
It's
like
true.
that. And at the end of the day, if it comes down to a little Destiny 2, we're going to get in and play
Absolutely.
the game together. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But next podcast does make its return tomorrow, 7 p.m. I am really, really excited, guys. It is so good to be back on live shows. Of course, Crap Gamer, my punishment for taking positive Xbox news, kicked me off this past week. No, I'm just playing, yo. It was really because of the move, people. I can't believe people took that seriously. But tune in my channel, Xbot448, and later on tonight, about 10 o'clock or so, I will be streaming Blair Witch on my Xbox One X. So it'll be on my channel. Come over, say hi, hang out, get scared. It's what it's about, right?
Love it, Xbot. I'll definitely be checking it out. And then last but not least, of course, there's Crap Gamer. And Crap writes me right now. He's like, I got goddamn disconnected from Discord, but you're well over 2 hours. I said, I'll give him a plug anyways. It's Crap Gamer Reviews, and we'll have M&C show on his channel this Sunday. That is if the hurricane does not hit like it's scheduled to. That may impact scheduling there, but if not, we will be there on Sunday at 11:30 on Crap's channel. And guys, I gotta say, great show tonight. Awesome show. check me out tomorrow. I will be doing twitch.tv, the Mooch78. I'm going to be doing more of Control and then also Man of Medan possibly tomorrow night. So check me out there, guys. We'll do it again next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night. Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Bye.
Battletoad!
Is it okay that I'm running Titan?
Seven p.m. Eastern Time. Good night. Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Bye.
Battletoad!
Is it okay that I'm running Titan?
Seven p.m. Eastern Time. Good night. Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Bye.
Battletoad!
Is it okay that I'm running Titan?